Everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Sunday evening, time for Sunday Night Live chat. Welcome back to the chat. We've got Eloy's already with us. David W. is here. Bill's already on. So, got Bill says hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. Let's see. It looks like we're connected on Facebook, so we will see how well Facebook is going to cooperate tonight since it's so up and down. Kim's on with us. Lots of familiar faces coming back as usual. Still baffles me, but you guys keep coming back and we keep having a good time. So we'll keep doing things together and having a good time. Mike's on with us. But anyway, lots of things happening. As usual, big night tonight. Going to give away the raffle. I'm going to ship this Atlantic pump plate out to somebody here soon. Bud's on with us. Lee from New York. Kevin's here. So we got the raffle tonight. Of course, we've got the magazine. As always, got a lot of cool auction pieces. Got some cool badges. Rico and Jess are on with us. So it's going to be an exciting night tonight. Now, before we get too far into it, we are having some storms in this area. If for some reason we get knocked out, that's probably what happened. It looks like everything is staying north of us at this point. I just poked my head outside just right before I jumped on here, and everything looks pretty calm here. I just seen a few pictures posted on Facebook from about 40 miles north of here. Not looking so calm up there. So the way it looks, everything is going to stay north of us. It shouldn't be a problem. But if we have something weird or the whole feed gets knocked out or something, that's probably what it was. So let's see. What else is going on? We got lots of guys jumping on. James is here. Kenny's on with us. Dennis, Old School, Big Job, Tweedledee. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. I'm hoping it all stays up to the north of us. That's definitely what I'm hoping for. Gary's ready to go. Gary doesn't want to mess around tonight. He's like, let's get that thing rolling. Scott's on with us on Facebook. Glad you guys are here. Looks like there's a few things ticking along on Facebook now at least. Brian Dispatch is here. John from San Antonio. Norma's on with us tonight. So anyway, Tweedledee had storm last week. Yeah, this one I'm just glad the way it looks from the pictures I just saw. It looks like I hope they're staying up there. Anyway, as always, double check your comments before you hit send. If autocorrect change it to where I can't make it out, I will skip it and go on to the next one. So please be sure to double check your autocorrect. Bill Alderman's here. Missed Toy Tuesday, but watched the STP. Oh, watched it later. Saw the STP display. Actually, I already owned it before I ever shot that video, Bill. I bought that the instant I saw it. I just hadn't picked it up and loaded it yet when I shot that video. But when I shot that video of the STP rack at the Lawrence Swap Meet, I already owned it before I even shot that. So Bill Wagman's ready for more Hudson Badge. Holy cow. John can't hang around because he became a grandfather last night. Well, congratulations on that. At least you made it for a little bit here. Tim's on Facebook. Old School, did I sell the Pinto yet? Nope, I haven't sold the Pinto yet. I've still got it. So I need to get in on Facebook as well here sometime in the near future. And if I don't get any bites on Facebook, we'll go ahead and throw it up on eBay or something. So Don from Nashville's here, 53 to 56 F100 fan. Brian Dispatcher, we consider to be in the Tornado Alley. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're right in the middle of Kansas. So, yeah, we are kind of considered to be right in the middle of Tornado Alley. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's probably a little worse south of here down towards Oklahoma. But yeah, we're definitely considered in part of that area. So, Bill Alderman, STP had great colors. Yeah, I would like to say it was cool. That's why I bought it the first time I seen it. I owned it when I walked away from the guy's booth. I just hadn't picked it up yet. So, Big Job still wants a Nobody's Club plaque. Old School says, put it on Bring a Trailer. I hear mixed reviews about Bring a Trailer, so I've never tried it. So don't know what to think about that yet either. So. But anyway, like I said, watch your autocorrect. If you're on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. If you want to comment, participate in the auctions, anything like that, you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Those are the comments that I can see. So Don's on. Yeah, you're not too late, Don, just a little bit. We're just getting rolling here. So if you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, please be sure to get on one of the other ones if you want to comment. As always, trolls, I ignore them. You guys try to take care of them for me. I appreciate that. Last week we had some issues with one who was ignoring him, and then he started bidding, and some people were trying to call out his bids, which, I mean, I was ignoring his bids for a reason. So just please bear that in mind. If I'm not taking somebody's bid, if they were running their mouths about something stupid or acting like an idiot, I'm not going to take their bids because obviously I don't consider them serious. So please watch out for that. Finally, one of you guys, and I apologize, I don't remember who posted it. Somebody finally called it out and said it's a scam, it's a troll, just ignore it. And that got it reeled in. So I appreciate that, whoever did that. But please keep that in mind. If you're seeing bids that I'm ignoring, and you go back and look at a few of their other comments, you'll probably see why I'm ignoring them. There are other options that we can look at. Alex just jumped on with us on Facebook. Glad you're here, Alec. Brandon's here. But I know you old school always thinks I need a moderator, but I don't expect somebody to take their entire Sunday evening and sit here and babysit my stuff. Mike from Texas is on. Big Job says we'll shoot him. We've got other options. I can possibly make it, we can make it comments have to be subscriber only. We can make the whole thing membership only. I mean, there's other various options. I don't want to do that until we have to. I'm sure at some point, if we continue to grow, that we will get to that point. At this point, I like leaving it open for everybody to get on, and your guys' help to running them out is great. That make them know that they're not welcome. I'm going to ignore them because they're just trying to get my attention. Just because they don't get enough attention home, their mommy doesn't come down to the basement often enough to bring them cookies. I can't help that, so I'm going to ignore it. I appreciate your guys' support in that. And we'll see how things go here tonight and over the next few weeks, whether or not we need to make any changes in the settings. So let's see. Daniel just got home from the races in Vegas. Gasser, New Zealand's back on with us. JR from Minnesota is here. Number one's back with us. So glad to see all of you guys back, all the familiar names. You guys are what make this thing what it is. So just please help me out with that type of situations. And like I said, if not, we'll have to make some other changes in the format as we progress through the next several weeks. Hudson Badge. That's right, Tweedledee. I hate it when people ruin a good thing. And that's what happens. Like I said, trolls live in their mom's basement, and it's, their life is trying to screw things up for other people. So that's why I ignore them. And the fact that you guys make sure they know they're not welcome, that's what helps, and that's great, and I appreciate all of that. So Alec just says we're doing a good job. Well, I appreciate that, Alec. But like I said, it's all of you guys that are making this thing what it is. What else is happening? And like I said, that's just what I saw looking at a few things on YouTube that I set up tonight is what a few of our possibilities are to try to manage some of that. So we'll kick it around. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't have too much more of it. We'll just, you guys run them off. You're a great job running them off when we get them. And occasionally we don't get them all that often, but they can definitely screw it up. So, nope, the answer is not $5,242 sticker price, number one, but that was a good thought. That is a good thought. There's no doubt about that. Meekum Tulsa this week. We're going to get down there at some point. Depends on how the week goes as far as when we get down there. I'm going to get down there and catch part of it for sure. I need to do some work down there for Old Cars Weekly. I told them I would be there, so I need to get some stuff done for them to help cover that sale. So looking forward to that. Their docket is filling up. I've been checking it regularly. They got a lot of cool stuff coming. It's going to be a great time. Definitely hope to get by and see our good friend Doug Prey this week while we're down there, the Auburn Cord Duesenberg factory, see what they've got going on, because there's always cool stuff going on around that place. So that's always exciting as well. Hudson Badge. John, good luck tonight, everybody. The drawings got to jump off. Glad you made it for at least a little bit, John. Glad you're on here for a little while. Appreciate you stopping by for a few minutes, even though obviously you got a lot of stuff going on with a new grandbaby. So hopefully everything's ticking along here with Facebook, and we're all still hanging in there. So anyway, we'll see what happens next week. If any of you are going to be at Tulsa Meekum, be sure to let me know or give me a shout, and be cool to hook up and catch up with some of you. But BW, I see Old School's chatting. I guess we don't need to worry about spams for a little bit. Everybody's voting big job for the moderator. So, but the problem with that is there again, we've got, this thing went over 3 hours last week. And I know a lot of you guys hang out here, and I know you're on here regularly, and I appreciate that. But I don't expect somebody to be locked into a commitment to do it. So that's my deal with the moderator. I don't expect somebody to lock in, give up every Sunday night when they could possibly have other things going on. That sometimes they need to jump on, jump off, things like that. I know Big Job's had family stop by before while we were on Sunday night, and he had to bail off for a little bit, things like that. I just don't expect somebody to lock themselves into a commitment on that. So, like I said, we may have to change some of these other parameters. We may have to change some of the settings on YouTube. We'll see how things go. Hopefully we won't have to worry about too much of them, but you never know. Alex says we're all still good on Facebook. That's great to hear. Hudson Badge. Big Job says he's the judge and the jury. Tweedledee says that's when you need 2 to 3 people to do it. And there again, and you're exactly right, Tweedledee. Then you've got 2 or 3 people that you're expecting to, give up their entire Sunday evening on a regular schedule to take care of it. So that's my big issue with it. I just don't, it's just tough to expect somebody to do that and give up that much of their stuff. Joy's on with us on Facebook. That's right, Old School. Another a good point. Old School just brought this up. I haven't even had time to read the article yet, but I did just see it. That Bon Jovi founding member Alex Such died today at 70. And that's a great comment, Old School. Like I said, have not even had time to look at any of that yet. Don't know what happened. But there again, it's the reality of where it is. I mean, at my age, obviously, I pretty, Bon Jovi came out in the 80s when I was a little kid. So I pretty much grew up on that. And it's happening all too often with, a lot of these guys that made music. They're getting older. The music that, I grew up on, a lot of you grew up on, and it's sad to see. So I appreciate you throwing that up, Old School, because I literally just saw that pop up on my feed, on my news feed on one of the home pages when I logged in right when I started setting up about an hour ago. Then I'd have time to read it. So I appreciate you bringing that up, and so we can recognize that as well. Kevin, is Dad getting around okay? Still hobbling. Just, those ankles are a pretty major ordeal, especially when there was no leg bone there to attach the ankle to, and they had to modify the leg bone by driving that pin up into it to even have somewhere to hook the ankle. So, it's been 3 or 4 months now. He's to the point now where they told him in June he could start walking on it a little bit without crutches, but he still uses crutches an awful lot. So that's just the nature of the beast. That's just all you can do at this point when you're in that type of a situation. So appreciate that, Kevin. Couple comments. Alex said something about this can on the shelf. Same with Bill. We'll get to that here in just a second. Let me get caught up on comments, then we'll get the other can down. Let's see. Brian Dispatch, never seen Big Job, but he sounds like a big guy. Well, he goes by Big Job, so James, that's why we look at you on our phone, make a few of the guys moderators. It's a good idea to keep the idiots off. Yeah. Big Job. I'm quicker with a gun than a keyboard. James, we've already given up our Sundays to be here, and I know, and I understand that, and I do appreciate that. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, we may just have to switch comments to subscribers only and see how that works too. Hudson Badge. But anyway, the new can I put up there. Number 1, Bon Jovi only makes soundtracks to vampire movies now. Gasser 61 had both ankles pinned and screwed. So yeah, you understand some of what Dad's dealing with. That's for sure. William from Delaware checking in. Destroyer 1320 hit the like, y'all. Appreciate that. But anyway, the can, I threw a different can up here tonight. Obviously, with some of the raffle stuff, I haven't been changing the sign the last couple months because we've had signs up here that were raffling off. I wanted to see everybody. Old School, can you make the show 1 to 1.5 hours? Tough to stay on for 2 hours. Old School, I actually do try Old School. The last several weeks, I actually start decontenting partway through, depending on where we're at. There's been 2 or 3 things out of the magazine the last several weeks that I have noted that we don't look at because I start pulling some of that content out when I see it going that long. So I'm trying, but there again, when you guys are on and have comments and things like that, perfectly good with that. It does make it longer, but if everybody's playing along, That's how it ends up that way. So I do try to decontent. I intentionally have decontented the last several weeks to try to shorten it up. So we're still going that long. So Jeff from Canada's on, from Ottawa. Shopcat's here. Shopcat's at dinner, but he's just staying high. We're glad you jumped on for a little bit. Big Job says Gasser's giving me ideas for the trolls. Break their ankles. Jeff says he's fine with it going long. So, but anyway, like I said, we haven't been changing the sign because the last couple months we've had a sign here that we were giving away. So I've been throwing up a couple of different cans. This can tonight, let's check this one out. This is brand new. It's still full. I don't know if you guys can hear it shaking or not. Lance is here with us. This is Iski Cam Lube Oil Booster. So it's kind of a neat can. It is a tall, skinny can as opposed to our normal quart can. This is 6 1/4 high by 2 5/8. So Iski Cam Oil Booster with moly sulfide. Sounds pretty important. Norma likes it. Bill Alderman, great GM feeling. Yep, that's right. Number one's trying to buy this one. I don't want to sell this one, though. But the back of this can, Iski Cam Break-In Lube and Oil Booster is especially formulated to complement today's advanced motor oils. It contains compounds that help avoid scuffing, improve lubrication, and prevent rust internally. It will also aid in preventing oil dilution in the crankcase. Directions: on new engines, coat the cam, tappets, push rod ends, rocker arms, and valve guides with cam lube and pour the balance in the crankcase. On new and used engines, add 1 pint to crankcase with each oil change to add lubrication. Recommended mixture: 1 pint per 5 quarts of oil. Ed Iskandarian Racing Cams in Gardena, California. Never heard of Iski Cans. Nope, Gardena, California. We just hadn't got that far. Old school to Iski Cam. Ed Iskandarian Racing Cams. Let's see. Let me get caught up here. David Divis thinks it's cool. Yeah, there's a couple cats in here again, so I'm sure you heard them meow. Pete says it has great graphics. Same with Kenny. Tweedledee never heard of it. BW's trying to buy it too. Tweedledee's from the West Coast and never heard of it. I thought everybody had heard of Iski. Alec thinks it's a nice can as well. Bill used to have a bunch of them when he used to race all the time. So let's see. But anyway, great can. This can actually, I don't think I see a year on it. Dyno tested, laboratory approved. It is an all metal can. It's got a pull tab on the top. Don't know for sure what year this is. Don's trying to buy it too. Actually, a buddy of mine gave me this can. He pulled a 1970 AAR Cuda out of a guy's barn that he'd had stashed for years. This was a Mopar guy. He'd had this AAR stashed since the early 80s. Scott says Ed is still alive and he's 101 years old. So no barcode pre-77. Yeah, I don't see any barcode on it. Jason's on with us. He was out taking pictures of old abandoned cars. Dennis is here. So my buddy dug this AAR out of this guy's barn, and it was not like it technically was actually in a barn, but the guy that owned it was a Mopar guy and he was a farmer, so he had some of his Mopar stashed in a barn. I don't think the AAR is for sale. It's done now. It is I don't remember what the green was called, the Slimer green AAR, but it was the real deal. This was in the trunk of the AAR when he pulled it out, so he gave it to me to add to my collection. So, let's see. That's right, David W. on a hot rod is living legends. That's for sure. Shopcat's got to go grab something to eat. Let's see. Jim says Ed was one of the first hot rodders. Well, Daniel, I met Ed Iskandarian. What a cool guy. What a character. Green Go. Yeah, something like that. I can't remember what they called the green on the AARs, but Dennis says late 60s, early 70s. That'd be about right. Sublime. Yeah, I think that could have been it with Sublime. Zach's on with us. Zach's trying to buy it too. But it's the only one I got. So, like I said, a buddy of mine gave it to me. So, only one I've got, but it's a cool can. That's why we threw it up there to check it out for tonight. So, big job. Iski water decals were always killing on old hot rods. Yep, that's true. So, but anyway, there's the deal with the can that we had up for tonight. Only reason I know the name is I had a neighbor that built race cars. Well, yeah, Iski's a pretty well-known name in the performance world. So I thought it was a great piece. That's why I threw it up there. Thought I'd share it with you tonight. So. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Are we all caught up on comments? Number one, what's more important, the item or the memory of them giving it to you? It's the same thing. You know, you always remember the story about where you get that type of stuff. And this is a guy, in fact, we were roommates in college, known him forever. So, there's both of those ties into it for sure. There's no doubt about it. That's right, David. It is kind of a tall boy. That's for sure. Jason's heard of it. Old school. As the U.S. entered World War II, Iskandarian enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Force was actually Air Corps at the time. Flew supply missions in the Pacific Theater with air transport. That's interesting. I never looked that up. Old school. Pete, Ford Torino Squire is cool. Yeah, that is a pretty neat old car. It is a neat old car. There's no doubt about it. Bud, how'd you come up with the name Nobody Else's Auto? We'll get to that here in just a second. Let me get these other comments, then we'll catch that, Bud. That's right. Don says it's a good cam for me to keep. Bill, Godfather of racing cams. That's another name I've heard him called too. So, number one, it's always hard to give up gifts when you've seen the person that gave it to you naked. Yeah, there's probably some college stories of some toga parties and stuff that kind of almost fall into that. So, you're not extremely far off in some of that. Number one. Big Job says say hi to Dad for me. Well, good. He's probably on with his Big Job. So. Don says that Iski's a fantastic man. Lance, congratulations on growing subscribers. Appreciate that. Bill says they do still make that stuff, so you can still order it from them. Frank, Great Willie's Picnic next weekend. But anyway, Hudson Badge. Pole Barn's on with us. Glad you're hanging out with us tonight, Pole Barn Garage. I don't know if anybody caught the Roll Runner videos from when Pole Barn Garage was out here and picked it up. He's on with us right now, and he wants to know what the warranty is on the Roll Runner because, shockingly, it has some glass fitment issues. If you missed those videos, be sure to go back and check that out. Definitely check out Pole Barn Garage and see how the Roll Runner's coming. We did some cool stuff when those guys were out here. Had a lot of fun with them. Check out the Holy Goat, the GTO that he saved, and I don't know what to tell you. It's like, hey, I did what I could as far as glass fitment. We pried on the roof. I pried on the roof with the loader as much as you told me to. You told me when to stop. So, I mean, we could have went further using the loader to try to straighten it out so you could got a windshield in that thing. But you told me to stop, so I stopped. But glad you're on with us tonight. Glad you guys are hanging out. Be sure to check out how the Road Runner's going on the Pole Barn Garage's channel, too. Lance still wants to see the video of the Chevy dealership tow truck. Yeah, I got to get that thing out one time. Mark says the Road Runner videos are great, so... Bill Wagner, Pole Barn Garage, laugh out loud. Don's caught the Road Runner videos. Get him out of here. Brian Dispatch, fork on the loader must have a bend to it. Yeah, we got it moved some, so. But Pole Barn, the Mega Porta Power may have been a little much. Gasser, 2020 warranty, 20 feet or 20 seconds. That's about right. Alec, what year was the Road Runner? It was a 69 383 4-speed car is what it actually was at one point in its life. Hudson Badge. But anyway, real quick, bud, the name Nobody Else's Auto, actually, the facility that I own, and I know some of you guys have heard this, but it does pop up occasionally, so I do need to try to cover it. Real quickly, the facility that I own, when I bought this facility in 2011, it was a regular late model production yard. There wasn't hardly anything in there over 20 years old. At that time, it was called Nobody's Auto Recycling. The reason it was called Nobody's Auto Recycling was the guy that I bought it from, which is a guy I've known my whole life. When he bought it back in the mid-70s, when he went to the bank to get the loan, they wanted to do an SBA on it. And the guy said, no, I already made an agreement on this. I got to get this thing closed quick. This guy wants this thing closed quick and done. He said, if we do SBA, it's going to take months. And this guy doesn't want to wait that long, and I've already given a deposit. So the banker told Don, the guy that I bought the facility from, and this is clear back in the 70s, he said, pick a name that they won't forget, and then we'll put that on the SBA paperwork. And that way, if we're not getting anywhere, I can call them, and they'll remember the name. So Don, the guy that I bought the place from, he sat there at his banker's desk for a minute, grabbed the paperwork, wrote nobody across the top, and handed it back to the banker. And that's how it became nobody. And they got the SBA paperwork done. It all sailed through, and they got it all done. So when I bought the facility, and like I said, I just bought the dirt in the buildings. I think there's 4 cars that I bought from him. But I didn't buy any of his wreckers. I didn't buy any of his big equipment. I didn't buy his loader. I bought 1 forklift. I bought 2 small forklifts and some of the shop tools from him. But while I did that, since I gave him, he had a couple years to work through his inventory as I started moving in, because I only had 120 cars when I bought the facility in 11. So he had, the way we drew up the agreement, he had 2 years to work through his inventory. So he maintained his dealer's license, and he still operated for another year or two under Nobody's Auto Recycling. So I had to change it a little bit. So that's how, but Nobody's was such a catchy name, and it had been known as that since the mid-70s. I didn't want to change that. So I made it Nobody Else's. So that's how I became Nobody Else. So in a nutshell, that's the nickel tour of how we came up with the name. Bill, the 20 foot away when he pulled out of the gate. Yep, that's about right. Big job. Got lucky. Was supposed to go out and pave the interstate tonight. We got canceled for the rain, so he got to be able to get on with us tonight. Mike, 48 on and 27 likes. I'm sure we'll get there, Mike. I appreciate all you guys hitting that like button. William, great shows. Keep up the good work. Jason, God wouldn't let you miss church. Big job. That's right. Bud, cool story. Thanks for sharing. Yep, that's it. So Nobody's was the third choice. Free beer and naked women were first and second. Yeah, that would have brought people in too. Hudson Badge. But anyway, speaking of badges, here's the Hudson Badge. We need to get into some badges. Like Old School says, this is how we keep ending up going so long. But that's okay. That's what we're here. We're here to have a good time. First badge that we've got tonight, like always, we are going to go back to 2 badges tonight. We just did 1 last week because of the 10,000 subscriber special. But this week, we're going to go ahead and do 2 badges, starting off with an earlier one. And this is a great badge as well. Pete, yes, I am going to Tulsa Meek and Pete. That is the plan. We talked about that right out of the gate. So we must have got to that first. I do plan on going to Tulsa this week. I don't know exactly what my schedule looks like at this point, but I do plan on being there at some point because I do need to do some work there for Old Cars Weekly as well. So, Alec, I like how the name continued through the years. Yeah. Williams cleaning his Nova and grilling. Jason, every church needs fellowship. But the first badge, no problem, Pete. No big deal. We can sure catch it. We'll probably touch on it again a little later this evening. So just to make sure nobody misses. The first badge we've got tonight, 1929, 1930 era Dodge Brothers truck. Tony's on with us. Glad you made it. This is a cool badge. Big winged Dodge Brothers with a DB below it. This, like I said, this was a truck. This is 2 1/4 in diameter. So we're 2 1/4 across here. This is a nice badge. It's got good blue and white enameling in it. Blue in the DB down here for Dodge Brothers. The wings come up around each side, meeting in the middle on the top. Nope, Jason, this one is definitely not for sale. This also was a press fit badge on the back where they stuck this on the grill shell and then, pressed these tabs down to help hold this thing flat. Everybody's trying to buy this thing. This one isn't sold. So Bill says that's a belt buckle. So this is a pretty good badge. It's flat. Pete digs it. Number 1, that's actually a good point. Looks like a Dodge factory police badge. It does kind of look like a police badge. Nope, Don, this one is not for sale. This is one out of my personal collection. So this is a neat piece though. Alec digs it. So yeah, a lot of people disappointed that this one ain't for sale. But I got 2 boxes of stuff right here with a ton of cool stuff in it. There's no way we're going to get through it all tonight. We got some cool stuff that we are going to sell to you guys tonight. So be ready for that here in just a few short minutes after we get done checking out these badges. So anyway, this is a cool piece. And literally the wings come out of this center circle up and around to meet up here towards the top of the Dodge Brothers in the middle. Great piece. Like I said, 2 1/4 in diameter to kind of give you an idea on the size of the Dodge Brothers badge. So cool piece. Definitely a great piece. Definitely part of my personal collection for sure. Anyway, now the next badge, as always, we're going to jump up a few years. This is also a cool badge. I've had this in my collection for several years. And jumping up to the muscle car era, into the Oldsmobile realm of the Cutlass 442. This is a grill badge off of a 66 442. Obviously, there's tons of different variations of what does 442 stand for. 400 4-barrel dual exhaust, 400 4-speed, Positrack. I mean, there's half dozen different ways you can configure the 442, even up into the late 80s, early 90s, where it was the quad 4. And part of it stood for the quad 4 engine. So obviously a dramatic difference from the 400 4-speed, but all the way up into that era, it still held relevance. They made the 4 sound stand out for something. So let's see. Brandon's got to jump off, get up at 2:30. So that's going to be just around the corner. William says, sweet, Tweedly D likes it. Jason's trying to buy it. No. Don says it was beautiful. He's got a buddy with a 33 Dodge truck. If it was for sale, he's going to get it for him. So, did olds have an official meaning? Well, there again, I think even the official meaning changed yearly. Obviously when it came out, there was an official meaning, but then that meaning varied throughout the years. Obviously, when you got a 4-cylinder and still branding it as a 442, you can't say it's got a 400 in it when it's got a 4-cylinder. So they did have official meanings. I think they officially varied over the years based on what they needed to stand for, based on where things were at in the car world at that point. This is a fairly thick badge. We can see it's got some bulk to it, a little bit of meat to it. This badge is 5 inches long and 1 inch high. So we're 5 inches from here to here, inch tall. You can see this is an original, so you can see the remnants of the colors of the reds and the oranges, in behind here in the background behind the numbers. This was a stud mounted badge that went through the holes in the grill and screwed right to the front of the grill. So Alec digs this one too. Alex has the same needle as I do sticking out of his arm when it comes to badges, I think. So there's the 1966 Olds Cutlass 442 grill badge that, out of my collection. That there again, as we move forward a few years, checking out different things, checking out cool things. That's what's cool about it. And that's why we enjoy it. And that's what makes it fun. The stories behind it. Daniel saying 4-barrel, 4-speed dual exhaust. And that was one of them too. Yep. Let's see. Jason just took some pictures of a 67 D100. So, Bill Alderman, twice the cylinders, twice the price. Number one, I heard a rumor that they had a list of names to call the car for the 442 and couldn't decide. So a piece of in-house mail was titled "Make Oldsmobile Model Name 442." So, they had a list of 442 names to call the car. That's what number one said. Oh, of course he just started the rumor. So. Brian dispatched the same badge as a 67. Hector saying 4-barrel, 4-speed, 2 doors. Like I said, there again, just multiple different options. So, but there's the 442 badge. The 1929-1930 Dodge badge, the 442 badge. There again, 2 different realms of history, both cool pieces. Glad you guys enjoyed them. And like I said, that's why they're part of my personal collection, because they're super cool pieces. Hudson Badge. So, who is ready to add some stuff to your own collection? Anybody want to play with some auction stuff? See what we come up with tonight? I'll get my phone ready. So we've got my timer out, set and ready to go. As always, just like I tell you guys, Bill ready, Pete's ready. Joe says the Dodge was the best badge of the 2. Yeah. And, like I said, and everybody's tastes are different, but that's what's cool about it is, and that's why we do a couple different ones, Joe, because that way we cover different spectrums, different people dig them, and we all learn something. So that's the point, As always, I'm going to use the timer on my phone. This is what I'm watching as we're timing down once I put stuff on the timer. So let's see what we've got in here that we want to do. Tweely D says he needs to start a collection. So, Hudson Badge. What do I have? I have toys, hood ornaments, emblems, license plates, oil cans. William, wonder if the Dodge badge scheme was a large sign. I've never seen that. So, anything in 1/25th scale? Not tonight, Jeff. Nothing in 1/25th scale. But I don't know where we should start at. Lots of stuff. No, William, I didn't get any Hot Wheels tonight. So that one, we haven't done any Hot Wheels. That's something I hadn't even thought about digging through. So I ought to look. Close my eyes and pick. There's a lot of cool stuff here. So let's go ahead and start off with a can. Since that's kind of what, we've started off the whole thing with. So we'll start off with a can. This is a cardboard can. It is late 60s. And it is a, Hector says, just a big mixed bag of GM, Ford, and Mopar emblems. This is a Motorcraft tune-up can. And kind of a neat piece. This is what these look like. This has an action shot of a Ford GT on it. These actually came with a set of spark plugs in them, and I think they had, well, here it says exactly what it says on the back. Electrical tune-up kit contents: 1 set of Autolite spark plugs, 1 Motorcraft point set, 1 Motorcraft condenser, 1 feeler gauge, 1 cam lubricant packet, 1 instruction sheet. 1966 is the date on this. Ford Marketing Corporation, 1966. So, number one, are we doing surprise boxes and mystery bags? No, I did not build any mystery bags this week. On this Motorcraft tune-up can, it is open. The top has been peeled off. Plugs and everything are gone. The little plastic things that actually held the plugs are still here. Let's see if I can get them apart. Hector remembers them. These things, little plastic things, actually held the spark plugs. They're still there. And the instructions are still here. But that is it. That's all that's left. There are no parts left, just the instructions and the plastic deals that held the plugs. So 1966 Ford Motorcraft tune-up can with the action shot of the GT40 on it. Then let's see where we're at. We've got some numbers coming out here. I've got William Alderman at 18 is my high bidder. I've had a handful of bids between both formats already. But William Alderman at 18 on the Motorcraft tune-up can. I've got Brian at 20. Like I said, cool graphics, a little bit of staining over here on it, but the action shot of the GT40 is what really makes these cans. Like I said, 1966. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not. It says right back here, it is a 1966 date. So we've got William Disc at 24. We'll get ready to put this on the timer. So get the timer set up here. William at 24. As always, we go 2 minutes on the timer. Once I hit the timer, you've got 2 minutes. I will tell you when there is 1 minute left. I will tell you when there is 1:30 left. From what we have been seeing, we have an 8 to 10 second delay. So once I tell you 1 minute is left, you need to be thinking about what your maximum bid will be. And by the time I say 1:30 is gone, it's just about over. So please bear that in mind. Some of you guys are getting really good at sniping stuff. So Hector, service guy at Gulf gas station, used only what car required, if my memory served. Tony, 61, Biscayne two-door post gasser. Bill says hit the like button. Alec at 27, and we are live on the timer. So 2 minutes. Like I said, Alec at 27 is my high bidder on the Motorcraft tune-up can. And we'll wind this one down with 2 minutes left. Bill Alderman scratch on the can's character marks. Yep. So these are neat pieces. They are a good collectible, and they're a cool piece. Like I said, the GT40 graphics is what really makes this thing. And these, I mean, Ford made these. These were a pretty common Ford deal. It's just, I used to see them pretty regularly. You don't see them very often anymore. 30 seconds has passed. We've got a minute and a half left on this one. And kind of look around, see what we want to do next. I got a lot of cool stuff down here. So 45 seconds has passed. We've got a minute 15 left. And we're coming up on the 1 minute mark. Tweedledee works for Ford, so Brian likes the GT40 as well. 1 minute has passed. Be thinking about your maximum bid for this one as time is winding down. So 27 is what I've got on this one. 1 minute 15 seconds has passed. Be thinking about those max bids. Bill's ready for a toy. We've got a toy truck we're going to do here in a little bit. Alec at 27 is my high bidder. 1 minute and 30 seconds is just about here, and it has now passed. We've got 30 seconds left. Thanks, Jason. 30 seconds left on this one. As we're winding down, Alec at 27 is my high bidder. 15 seconds left. We're about ready to wrap this one up. At Alec at 27 is my high bidder. 10 seconds left. We'll see if anybody's going to snipe this one. As we're winding down. And we're just about there, and that will do it. I've got Alec at 27. Great can. Those are cool pieces. Better keep my... And Brian came back in at 30, but we're just a hair late on that one. Number one, you have any Ford GM of our factory paper coffee cups? No, not really. I don't really have anything like that. So that's, yeah, Brian just barely missed it. So I apologize for that. That delay gets us sometimes, that's for sure. Here's a cool piece. And this is early. I don't know how early, but I know it's early. I think it's 20s. And it's kind of rough. It's banged up. It's beat up. It shows its character. But it is a great piece. The embossing is very clear, so it's easy to tell what it is. But it definitely shows its story, I guess is the best way to put it. This is a great international badge. This, like I said, this might be into the early 30s, but I don't think it's any newer than that. So I think this is... Like I said, early 30s would be as new as this one possibly would be, I would think. Trying to think. I got a 36. I'm trying to think if I had anything like that. So this is probably 90 to maybe 100 years old. Number one's already in at 8. So Pete's in at 20. It is 12 inches long. So it's right at a solid foot on length. Number one says, make great radio delete. So 2 inches high. Lee's in at 25 on this one. So this is, like I said, you can see the battle scars, the wear, the dents, the dings, but the embossing is very clear. It looks great. It's, for the most part, still pretty flat. It's not twisted too bad. So Gasser, do I have a 61 Pontiac Ventura or Catalina emblems? I got one Catalina. It might have that might have some left on the doors. I'd have to check that car and see. Bill Alderman at 26. Alec wants a close-up. I'll try to kind of scan it by so you guys can kind of see the whole thing. I hope that helps, Alec, if you can kind of see it a little bit better. Mike says it was on a work truck. It can't be perfect. That's right. And that's one thing internationals were well known for. They were work trucks. They were workhorses. That's exactly what they did. So there it is, 12 inches long, 2 inches high, 20s, maybe early 30s international badge. Brian Dispatch is at 50 on the international badge. So that's my high bidder. I hope that helps, Alec. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll show it to you again. We'll get ready to put this on the timer. That's right, Bill Alderman. It was made in the USA, that's for sure. So Let me get this one on the timer, and here we go. We are live on the 2 minutes. Tweedledee is a true VW is trying to bring back the Scout. Yes, they're bringing back an electric Scout is what they're doing. So Brian Dispatch at 50 on this one. It does appear to be aluminum. I think it's like aluminum. I forgot to mention that. I think it's an aluminum piece. Alec at 55. And 30 seconds has passed. I'm just trying to make my notes here. 30 seconds has passed. We have 90 seconds and left, and I've got Alec at 55. I've got Brian Dispatch at 60 on the international badge. Buzz is on with us. Buzz is in at 60 right after Brian with Dispatch. I've got him at 60 first, Buzz. And we're coming up on that 1 minute mark. Buzz is in at 65. And we've just hit the 1 minute mark. Brian came in at 65 also, but I had Buzz first. And 1 minute is left, so please be thinking about those max bids. Please be thinking about that 8 to 10 second delay. When I give you that minute 65, then please remember we are just about done. Or when I give you that minute and a half, that means we're just about done when we figure in that delay. I think it's aluminum, old school. I think it seems to be aluminum. Here's the back. I didn't show you the back. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. I've got Buzz at 65 with Roadkill Customs. 30, just a tick under 30 seconds left. Alec is in at 68 on this one. So we're coming down to the end. Just about down to 15 seconds. We've got 15 seconds left. Alec at 68 is my high bidder on this one. 10 seconds left. Buzz is in at 70. Few seconds left on this one. 70 is my high bid. 4 seconds left. Brian Dispatch at 75, and that will do it. Brian Dispatch at 75 on the IHC badge. Classic Ride Society's on. Glad you're here with us. Thanks for mentioning me in that video you threw out there about the Lawrence Swap Meet. Appreciate that. So, got that one for Brian at Dispatch, and let's see what else we got. Anybody like license plates? I got some license plates. Let's see. Mike, I've got 8 plugs out of his uncle's 48 Ford, and they still have the Ford on the porcelain, so that's cool. Let's see. Trying to keep up with the stuff that we got to work on here. I do not have any 91 Rangers, William, so don't have any of that stuff. Don't have any leather plates. Alex says cool badge, Brian's. And that's what's great. I mean, everybody is such a great sport on here. Hudson Badge. Let's start off with this one. It's a little rough, but it's got a great look to it. This license plate is a 1950 Kansas. Buzz says old crusty plates. It's got any Texas plates? I did not pull any Texas plates for tonight. I do have some Texas stuff. I bought about a half a pickup load of plates yesterday. The bulk of it was within the last 20 to 25 years. But there was a lot of stuff in there that's earlier than that, 80s on back. So I've got some cool stuff there. And there is some out-of-state stuff there, too. If you guys do want some other out-of-state stuff, I've got a little bit of it laying around. Let's see. Alec, any gas or any signs? No signs tonight. Any old California plates? I've got a few laying around. I ought to dig a few of those out. We can do some of those, too. Tonight, all I have are some Kansas. Well, I got one Colorado plate that I was going to do, too. But mostly all Kansas, so. Jason got his stuff the other day. Got his plate and washer fluid. The paper stuff I mailed out the week before that, so that's kind of weird. I've got one Grand Wagoneer, Don. I've only got one of them, so Classic Ride Side, yeah, it took him forever to finish the Lawrence swap meet video. A lot of cool stuff there. So, let's see. Okay, Bryce is going to send me another envelope. Perfect. Yep. But no signs tonight. We got license plates, emblems, hood ornaments. Well, I guess we got one kind of a sign piece. It's not necessarily a sign, but it's kind of related. So I do have that way. We can get to that too. Kenny got his stuff. Appreciate the glad that stuff made it. I have shipped everything. Yeah, Kenny, I got your check for the Dodge badge, but not in time to get it out this week. So I will get the Dodge badge shipped Tuesday before we leave this week. So that's the only thing that's been paid for that hasn't shipped is that one Dodge badge. I've got a few things I'm waiting on payment. Some of that stuff probably coming in the mail and things like that. So, but the Dodge badge, Kenny, did not get shipped yet, but will here Tuesday. But this license plate we'll start off with Kansas, 1950, the wheat state, as Kansas plates typically did say. Kim's going to DQ to get a Blizzard. You need to bring us all Blizzards, Kim. That actually sounds pretty good right now. I'm not sure what year that Wagoneer is, Don. I think it was a later one. I want to say it was like an 89, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The 4th of July $1,000 project car blowout. But this Kansas plate, Alec loves the Plymouth badge you got last week. Great. Glad you like that one. Norma's in at 20 on this one. This is a regular size license plate. "12 inches by 6 inches. Norma at 20 on the license plate. It's been up a little bit, but what's cool about it is it's been up, it's rough, but it still has enough character to it. You can still definitely make out all the numbers and everything. It's not destroyed. And the back's kind of the same way. So let's go ahead and get this one on the timer, starting with Norma at 20 on the 1950 Kansas plate. And we are live on 2 minutes. I've got Lee at 25. So keep an eye on both formats as we roll through here and see what we've got coming up next. I'll be thinking ahead here a little bit. Let's see. Brian Dispatch says her dollar's worth a little more this week. 30 seconds has passed. Norma's in at 30 on the 1950 Kansas license plates. Or not plate. It's a single. This is a single. I didn't say that. This is a single. So $30 on the 1950 Kansas license plate. 45 seconds has passed. Coming up on that 1 minute mark. On this plate, we'll throw up a Hudson badge while you guys can think about it a little bit more. And 1 minute has now passed. We're down to the last minute. Please be thinking about your maximum bid if you want to get in on the 1950 Kansas license plate. And what do we want to do next? Man, I got a lot of neat stuff here. We got to be thinking ahead here a little bit. Coming up on that minute 30 mark, Norma at 30 is my high bidder on the license plate. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Please be thinking about your maximum bid if you want to jump in on this plate. We've got that 8 to 10 second delay, so please keep that in mind as the clock ticks down with 20 seconds left on this one. Is that Barber County? I'm not sure what 73 is. The only one that I know is 33 is Barton County, so I'm not sure what county 73 was. Lee at 32 with 10 seconds left. Lee at 32 is my high bidder. Last couple of seconds, we're down to the wire on this one. Is anybody going to snipe it? Norma at 40, and that does it. 2 minutes. Norma sniped it at 40. She got that in quick, or she was planning it and had it ready to go because she barely snuck that in. So let me get that one noted. How about a hood ornament? We haven't done a big hood ornament in a couple of weeks. And this thing's heavy, so it's going to have to, bring a little bit just to cover the shipping on it. Hudson Badge. And And this hood ornament, it's got some pitting in it, but it's not busted up. I think it's missing one little bolt-on piece, but it doesn't really detract from the piece. So, yeah, Norma did snipe that. I mean, I don't know if she like had another number in mind ready, but another 1 second more longer, and she wouldn't have got it. It would have been over and done with. So, she barely snuck that one in. So like I said, this has a little bit of weight to it. It's got some pitting in it, but it is a cool display piece, and that's what this is all about. And this is Cadillac, which is always cool. So, yep, we've got a Cadillac hood ornament we're going to auction off next. There she is, staring you all down. This is a mid-50s. I think it's 55. You can see the pitting in it. And I think it's supposed to have a little tail piece that comes off of here. It's not broken, but there's a little screw here. I think it had a little extension that came out to just kind of somewhere right down in this area, which is gone. So that's about all that we have to worry about there. You can see it does look nice and straight. Lots of bids popping up on this thing. Brian at 50 is my high bidder right now. Jason says, you're killing me in all caps. How big is she? Let's get you some dimensions on her. Lee at 60. If we go all the way to the face, from the far tip all the way up to the face, it's about 14 and a half roughly. 14 and a half, 14 and 5/8. Let's call it 14 and a half. Long. Shoulder across the shoulders is about 5 inches across her shoulders. Jason says, who's buying it for me? William says, look good on a 74 Nova hood. Yep. Lee at 60 is my high bidder on the Cadillac hood ornament. Like I said, it's got some pitting in here. I mean, it would need to be re-chromed to put it back on a car, but still a cool display piece. Like I said, I think it's 55, but I don't remember. I've got a lot of mid-50s Cadillac stuff. The bulk of it is 55, so that's why I'm thinking it's 55. But you can see the facial features in this one. Pretty detailed. Of course, it was a Cadillac, so that obviously makes a big difference. It did mount just right on top of the hood. Stud, had studs that went right up in through there. You can see the bottom of this. Eloy digs it. So there she is. I've got Lee at 60, and we're going to put this thing on the timer. We are live as of right now. 2 minutes. Ticking down. And here we go. The chrome does still have a pretty decent shine. I know you see the reflections of everything in the office, but overall it does still look pretty cool. David's getting thirsty. But neat piece. Like I said, it definitely is just pop metal, so it definitely has some weight to it. It's pretty thin back here, but up here, this is like all solid pop metal up in this area. 30 seconds has now passed. 1 minute and a half left on this one, on the Cadillac hood ornament. And it is a cool piece. She's a pretty lady. So William looks like it's flying, standing still, and that's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Just like that, right on the front of that hood of that big old Cadillac back in the 50s. Coming up on that 1 minute mark, if you're thinking about getting a bid on this one, it's time to be thinking about what that max bid may be. We've got 1 minute left on this one. 1 minute has now officially passed. So time to be thinking about what your max bid might be. Remember, we've got that 8 to 10 second delay. Big Job says she is sexy. That's true. That's what those big Cadillacs were back in the day. So anyway, 1 minute, 15 seconds has passed. 45 seconds left. I've got Lee at 60 on the Cadillac hood ornament. Minute and a half has passed. We're right up on that minute 30 mark right now. So we now have 30 seconds left on this one. So Lee may sneak this one out of here at 60 at this rate. We're down to the last 20 seconds. I've got Lee at 60. That might be it. 20 seconds left. Nobody else is jumping in. Here she goes. 15 seconds left. 10. We're down to the wire. Brian's in at 82 on the Cadillac hood ornament. 5 seconds left. I've got Brian at 82. And that will do it. Brian at 82 on Miss Cadillac. Brian was sitting on go on that one. He was just waiting to hit that button. So Brian says he finally got something. Well, that was a good one to get. So Zach, speaking of hood ornaments, you get over a chance to check on the friend's place, check on those 53, 54 Chevy hood ornaments. I got everything off that rack yesterday, Zach. There's no 53 or 54 Chevy hood ornaments on there. There are like 8 50 Chevy hood ornaments, and there was like the front badge for like a 55, but they're the 53, 54 cars, like the top hood ornaments. There's none of those there. I don't know if you were looking at those 50s. There was a whole row for a 1950 Chevy, but no 53 or 54s on that. So anyway, that one was fun. That was boom. I mean, there was some strategy played out on that one. So if that's not what we're talking about, Zach, get a screenshot of it and then call me tomorrow and send me the screenshot so we can see what we're talking, see what you saw and what I missed. So, we haven't done a toy in a little bit. Who's ready for a toy? This is a cool toy. It does have one issue. It needs a front axle, and I do not have a front axle for it. It is a dump truck, 50s era, all 10. Played with condition, but not destroyed condition. So let's check this thing out. Who digs toy trucks? Great looking nose on this thing. Kind of resembles a 55 to 57 Chevrolet. Big truck, 1.5 tons. So you bet, Zach. Sounds good. Bud's looking forward to the video on the Caprice police car. And I wanted to shoot that today, Bud. We have so much rain. That car's out towards the back. I unloaded that when I didn't have a loader, so I unloaded it clear out back, and I couldn't get back to it to do the video on it today, Bud. So hopefully next week we'll get that Caprice police car shot. Yeah, it is a cool piece. Like I said, it needs an axle. We got to get this thing hooked up under here. Oh, that rod came loose on that side. That popped out of the hole. So we've got the rear axle and tires here. We do not have a front axle under this truck. Eli says we need to throw up some Riviera emblems. So it is an actuated cylinder. It does have an opening tailgate. And it's got a lever here, and this lever's bent a little bit. It needs a little more straightening. But it does an actuated dump bed. So I think it's got a spring in it, I think is what it's got. So Old School says go out the yard and get an axle for it. So, but there she is. Kind of a cool old toy truck. If somebody wants to get us rolling on this one, like I said, it needs a little bit of work with a front axle and a little bit of a polishing. It would make a nice piece. The grill looks great in it. Bill Alderman, definitely not a Tonka, yeah. So, Alex starting us off at 25 on this one. Like I said, it's even got a 2-piece windshield, kind of. They actually have a separate piece of strap metal in there to make it look like a 2-piece windshield. This is actually embossed on the side of it. This is actually a separate piece on the top that is mounted to the top, and I don't know why. It's just a decorative piece with these ribs on it. And it's got some, the little tabs here where that decorative piece goes in there like that. Old School's in at 36 on this truck. So Will come and says put a lift kit on it with some new wheels. Yeah, that'd be one way to do it. So cool truck. The nose is great. Like I said, it could use a little bit of polishing, a little bit of waxing, but a lot of potential. Old School at 36 on this truck. Spring actuated cylinder underneath it to lift the bed. Black, orange bed, white nose, good looking truck. So Old School at 36. Let's go ahead and get this one on the timer as we get rolling here. On this super cool, this is all metal. Like I said, I'm thinking it's late 50s, maybe early 60s, based on the fact that it looks like a 55 to 57 Chevy 1.5 tons on the nose. So, and we're live on this one. Here we go. Pete thinks it's a cool truck as well. 20 seconds has passed, coming up on that 30-second mark. Alec at 40 on the super cool toy truck. And we are coming up on that 30-second mark. So we now have 90 seconds left on this one, a minute and a half to go. Cool old truck. Like I said, if you can find an axle for it, if you've got an axle for it, make a great piece. So Alec at 40 is my high bidder as we come up on the 45-second mark. Just over a minute left on this one. Show you a little more angle, a few more angles on it, and get a little better idea of what we're talking about on this thing as we're working our way towards the 1 minute point. Alec at 40 is my high bidder as we come up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. Be thinking about those max bids. And please remember, we've got what we think is about an 8 to 10 second delay. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I know some of you guys have figured it out, and you're not telling anybody. I'm pretty sure of that. We're guessing it's about 8 to 10 seconds, but the way some of you guys are sniping, I think you pretty much know exactly what your delay is. David W. says, axle's an easy fix. Yes, it is. Minute and a half is now passed. If you're thinking about jumping in on this one, 30 seconds left. Now's the time to be getting the bid in. You're bidding because the time you hear this or see this, we will just about be done. I've got Alec at 40 on this truck right now. 20 seconds left. Better get this added to my notes here. Gasser61's got to jump off. Appreciate you being here for a while. 10 seconds left. $40 is my high bid with Alec. As we're coming down to the wire on this one, I've got Alec at 45 seconds left. And that will do it. I've got Alec at 40. And William just snuck in at 45, but was about 8 seconds late on that one. Big job. YouTube is different times from the phone to TV Wi-Fi. So that's something to be thinking about. And there again, I think you guys are figuring out what your delays are, but apparently it is different based on phones and TVs. Yep, William, maybe next time you just missed that one. So, but that's what's so great. Everybody's a great sport and everybody's having fun, and that's what matters. Let's do kind of a different can next. We've never done a can like this. It's a cool can. It definitely has some age and patina to it. But like I said, it's different, and that's what makes it cool. This is a Co-op fly spray can. So we'll see if anybody digs this one or not. I think it's cool because of the logo on it. Co-op fly spray. Consumers Cooperative Association, North Kansas City, Missouri. It's got a cool co-op logo on it over the 50 states, or over the the United States, the 48 states. Co-op logo on both sides. Household fly spray. Co-op fly spray to knock out the flies, just not just repellent. Has instructions on it. So kind of a neat can. A little bit different than what we usually do. Still has the cap on it. Fly right there. Fly must have heard me talking about flies. So, anybody interested in the fly spray can? Brian, that's a cool co-op logo. It is a cool co-op logo. I didn't even watch this one yet. I was gathering stuff up. That's kind of a neat piece. And sometimes some of you guys like the as found stuff. So some of it, sometimes I like to try to mix some of that stuff in as well. This fly right here is fixing to drive me nuts, though. I don't know where he went, but I'm keeping an eye on him. But anyway, if anybody wants to get us started on the co-op can, and then we will put it on the timer here just shortly, or we'll throw it back in the box and mix it in with some other cans, whatever you guys decide to do. Nobody's jumping in yet, so we'll give it a few minutes. Alex is going to go ahead and start it at 7, so let's just go ahead and roll with it. Like I said, it's a little off course since it's not strictly gas and oil. They did have gas and oil cans, logo just like this, the red and white with the co-op logo. So Alex is going to go ahead and start us off at 7. So we're going to go ahead and let her fly and go ahead and get this thing on the timer. Let's see. Bill, I have shared rights on the time. It has to be off by 10 Eastern. So Tweedledee TV's lagging from the iPad. I don't know. I'm keeping an eye out. I got one right here bothering me. I want to get him too. So might need to open the can up. Well, it's empty. I guess that wouldn't do me any good. So anyway, let's get this on the timer. Alec at 7. We're going to go ahead and kick this one rolling. I've got Alec at 7 on the co-op fly spray. William says it's cool too. Yeah, Lee's coming in at 10 on the co-op can. Like I said, it's a little off course. I know it's a little bit different, but they did make these in grease cans and oil cans as well with the same logo on it. Just a little bit different variation of it. How tall is it, says Tweedledee? Let's find out. That's a great question. It is just about 7 inches, 6 3/4. Let's call it 6 3/4 and by 4. 6 3/4 by 4 on the co-op can. 45 seconds has passed. Lee at 10 is my high bidder. Great can for $10, that's for sure. And I know these are not, as high dollar as some of the other cans, but it's still a neat piece, and it's a neat collector piece to add to your collection, especially if you like co-op stuff. 1 minute has now passed. 1 minute left on this one. I've got Lee at 10 on the co-op can. As we're ticking down, Alex back in at 12 on the co-op can. So, like I said, even though it's a little different, they did use these in grease cans as well. Number one says fly spray, use it on old school. There you go. We're coming up on the 1:30 point. We're at a minute and a half. We've got 30 seconds left. If anybody wants to jump in on this one, now's the time. We're coming down to the wire on it. By the time you see this, we will just about be wrapped up. We've got 20 seconds left on the co-op fly spray can. Alec at 12 is my high bidder. 15 seconds left. And we're getting ready to wind this one down. 10 seconds left. Alec at 12 is my high bidder. And we are wrapped up at that. Alec at 12. And Lee's tried to sneak back in there at the end and just missed it. And Zach tried to sneak in at the end too and missed it. So Alec barely got out of there with that one. So how about we do some emblems? How about we have a Hudson emblem, Hudson Badge? We're going to do an emblem pack. I know some of you guys like that. How about we do a Chevrolet emblem pack? So we're going to have 4 pieces in this. 4 pieces for one money. If you're a Chevy fan, this is some neat stuff. Start off with this. This is a small center button out of like a horn button. Plastic with the Chevrolet logo. It's about 2 1/8 in diameter on this one. That's right. Brian says it is an emblem bundle. That's exactly what it is. We've got the small plastic round Chevrolet. We've got 1 set of rally flags for an early 60s era Chevrolet. These are 3 3/4. These are about 3 3/4 wide and about 2 tall. We have another little golden badge. This is like a 55, I think. This is about 3 inches long. Norma's in at 20 on this one. We ain't even got to the last piece yet. Norma's ready to go. This is stud mount as well. The rally flags were stud mount also. And the last piece in this Chevrolet badge bundle, that's what we'll call them. We'll call them badge bundles, is a Chevrolet script. This is mid-60s. This was a screw-on, has 2 holes where the screws went in. This never had studs. And Alec came in at 20 as well. I already had Norma at 20 on the Chevrolet badge bundle. This is about 8 inches long. That's right, Bill Alderman. Great toolbox bling. It is all great toolbox bling. Alec is in at 30 on the badge bundle. Lee came in at 25 on all 4 of these pieces. Let me get this written up on my notes. Norma's at 40. So, all 4 of them, one deal. Whoever's the high bidder at the end is going to end up with all 4 pieces. I've got Bud at 45 on the Chevy badge bundle. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off on the timer and get rolling. We are live. We've got 2 minutes on the timer. Bud at 45 is my high bidder on the Chevy badge bundle. Norma is at 50 on the Chevrolets. And Jason's got to make a fridge run, so that's not a bad thing either. All 4 pieces, one money. We are on the time. Bud's at 55 on it as this one is coming up on the 30-second mark. Alec came in at 50 as well, but I had already had Bud at 55 on YouTube. 30 seconds has passed. We've got 90 seconds left on this one, so please remember that delay. Depending on what you're watching on, obviously it's kind of different on iPads, phones, and TVs. So Norma at 60 is our high bidder on this one. Bud's right back at 70 on the Chevrolet badge bundle. So Alec came in at 60 as well. I've already got Bud at 70 on this pack. As 1 minute has passed, Norma just came in at 100. I think Norma's just trying to blow everybody out. So Norma at 100 on the badges. We're just past the 1 minute mark. Coming up on 1:15, we're down to 45 seconds. I've got Norma at 100. And she may have just taken care of everybody with that one. Sometimes that's what you got to do. So, Bud's back at 105. So, Bud's a serious player, too, on these. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. 30 seconds left. Bud at 105 on the Chevrolet badge bundle. 20 seconds left on this one. These things getting close. Norma's at 120. 15 seconds left on this. Norma at 120. 10 seconds left. We're coming down to the wire. Alec just says, wow. So I guess Alec's done. And a couple seconds left. I've got Norma at 120, and that will do it. Norma at 120. That's right. Badge bundle did good. And that's what's cool about it. When you get a bunch of different little pieces where, like I said, there's so much you can do with them. Tool badges, decorator stuff. And you kind of mix it together. You mix it up kind of. And Bud came back. Actually, Bud came back at 140, but just a few seconds late on that one. So, but appreciate everybody playing. We got lots of emblems yet. So, we got lots more cool stuff to do. We'll just see how long we want to go on some of this stuff tonight. You guys are looking thirsty out there. Bud says, well played, Norma. That's what's great. That's the sportsmanship on this is so amazing. Let's do another license plate. Oh, let's do this other license plate. I want to sell this one, and I don't know a thing about it. So it's cool, but I don't know a thing about it. I don't know if it's worth $5 or $50. I have no clue. It is brand new. It is Colorado, so I really don't know nothing about it. But it was in these license plates I bought yesterday, and it's so nice that I figured the best thing I can do is just sell it and get rid of it before I screw it up. One of those kind of things. Zach on Facebook, that was intense. Yeah, it was intense. So I think this is a motorcycle plate, but I don't know. But like I said, condition is so great that I figured I'm just going to sell it to you guys. If it brings $5, it brings $5. If it brings $50, great. Because I have no clue what it's worth. I don't know a thing about it. But it's new and it's super cool. Because of the size, I'm guessing it's motorcycle. But here it is, 1966 Colorado WG250 license plate. Jason's going to bid $5 and they don't even know what it is. So, but there it is. Like I said, this was in all the license plates I bought yesterday. This is a metal embossed plate. You can see the stamping on the back. I'm guessing motorcycle because this is small. It is 8 5/8 long. And it is 4 3/8 tall. Norma's in at 25, so Jason said he's out at 5. Now, if we compare this to the 1950 license plate that we just sold, is you can see the size difference between them. That's why I'm guessing this is motorcycle. But that's just a guess. Like I said, I don't know a thing about it, but it's so nice that I figured I better just get rid of it instead of leaving it buried in those boxes of license plates and getting damaged. Now, one thing that is super trailer, Wheelie says trailer, could be trailer. That's a possibility as well. Number one, it's a party up here in Oil Town, ice cold old Milwaukee, and French cigarettes and French tobacco. How have I not won anything yet? But yeah, it could be a trailer. That's a possibility as well. But Bud's trying to buy the emblems for some of the emblems for Norma. Who has a Dodge Fargo 2500 Power Wagon? You need that plate? Yep, that's true. It'd be cool if you had something that was 250 cc's. That's something else I hadn't thought about, David W. I've got Alec at 30. Now, one other thing I want to point out about this before we put it on the timer is you see this hole up here, the mounting hole? But you look at the other three. Can you see the outline of them? That's the paint from when it was painted. It's not solid metal, it's soft, but that is actually the paint from when these were painted. Those 3 holes not even been punched out. Norma's in at 40 on the Colorado 1966, whatever it is plate. Trailer, motorcycle, I don't know. But it's cool, and I figured it's better off on one of your guys' walls than buried in that box of license plates when I was unloading them yesterday. So I said, let's do it, let's sell it. Alex getting thirsty. Let's throw that up there. Norma at 40 on the Colorado license plate. Here we go. We are live on the timer. As we tick down, I'm going to make my notes so I keep my list current. And I've got Norma at 40 on the Colorado license plate. So, like I said, don't know much about it other than the condition is great. It's kind of a cute little size too. Like I said, motorcycle trailer, don't know what it is. But yeah, I hadn't thought if you had a 250cc motorcycle, it'd be pretty cool. 30 seconds has now passed. We're down to a minute and a half. I've got Norma at 40 on the new Colorado license plate from 1966. Jason says it would look great on Norma's wall. That's exactly where it's going to look great on somebody's wall. Maybe it will be Norma's. We're going to find out here in about a minute and 10 seconds. So as we're coming up on that 1 minute mark, 1 minute has now passed. We've got 1 minute left on this. Be thinking about your max bids. I've got Norma at 40 on the Colorado 1966 new old stock license plate. Alec is back in at 45. And we're rolling this one down. 45 seconds left. I've got Alec at 45 on the Colorado plate. Eloy says his brother's in Colorado. He sent him a picture, and he said it's a trailer plate. So it's not motorcycle. It is trailer, is what Eloy is saying. So he is going to call it a trailer plate, which is possible. 30 seconds left on this one. Norma at 50. 25 seconds left. We're coming down to the wire on this. 20 seconds left. William says we need another Hudson. There's the Hudson badge. I've got Norma at 50 with 15 seconds left on the Colorado trailer plate, as Eloy found out for us. 10 seconds left. Norma at 50. Coming down to the wire. Lee's in at 52 with 5 seconds left. 2, 1, 0. That's it. Lee at 52. Norma tried to jump back in at 60, but Lee, we were already... I shut it off before that, and we were at 202 by the time I got it shut off, by the time I sold Lee and got it shut off. So I've got Lee at 52 on the Colorado plate. Here's something we haven't done tonight, badge-wise. Well, bear with me here just a second. Okay, I got a few more things figured out here. Let's do a Ford badge. This is an oval Ford 85 horse side hood badge. This badge was used on 3839 conventional as well as 3839 cab over. They both used a very similar oval badge to this. Available in both 85 horse and 95 horse. This is an 85 horse. To give you guys some perspective on this one, it is about 5.5 on the long part of the oval and about 3.25 on the short part of the oval. Rusty's in at 20 on this one, kicking us off right out of the gate. These actually had little tiny studs. We see these little round nubs on the front of this. These were actually studs. One of these studs is broken off. One of these studs is intact with its nut still on it. Number one was in at 11, then Rusty at 20. Okay, number one popped up right before Rusty at 20. Alex at 15, but I've got Tweedly D at 25 on the 85 horse Ford badge. There it is from the backside. It is embossed. Cool old script logo. 3839 era Ford truck badge. Both conventional and COE used this badge. So Pete says, never seen one of those where they painted up. They were all chrome and shiny like this. Jess at 35. David W. at 40 on the badge. I got Alec at 27. I got lots of bids coming in. But David W. right now at 40 is my high bidder. William comes to put on a belt or a hat. I've got Rusty James at 50 on the Ford 85 horse badge. Let's go ahead and get this one on the timer right now. We are live. Rusty at 50 on the Ford badge. As we're starting to tick down, nice shiny chrome on this one. Like I said, this thing is just a tick over 80 years old, almost 85 years old at this point. So no one says that's a radio delete plate. Yeah, that's a big chunk of your dash. Jason says, I'll just sit here and drink and watch the show. We'll help you out with that a little bit. Kenny's coming in at 52 on the Ford badge. 30 seconds has passed. Pete, you're going to get whiplash going between the two formats. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's a little tricky to keep up, but I got them both right here. And I can just see Alec came in at 53, so I do know that much. I do know this fly's about to drive me nuts. I don't like this fly. Where'd that fly? Who bought the fly spray? Come here. Alec at 53. I've got Rusty James at 60. 1 minute. We're coming up on the 1 minute mark as of right now. And we got a dead fly on top of that. So Rusty James at 60. 1 minute has passed. So please be thinking about those maximum bids. Yeah, that's right. Old school. Bye-bye fly. That's for sure. And we're coming up on that 1.5 minute point with 30 seconds left. I've got Rusty James at 60. If you're going to jump in on this one, please be thinking about your maximum bid as we're coming down to the wire on this one. 20 seconds left. I've got William at 62 with 20 seconds left on this one as we're coming down. 15 seconds left. William at 62. We're coming down to 10 seconds left on this one. Keep an eye on both formats, 5 seconds. William at 62 is my high bidder. Just about ready to wrap this one up. And that will do it. William Disc at 62. Congratulations, William. I think that's the first thing you've gotten on here, if I remember correctly. So glad you got in on that one. Yep, that's right. It just said he got one. So Alex said you got the fly spray. Okay. I think I'm good for now. I don't know where the carcass went, but I ain't seen him buzz me. I ain't seen him buzzing me in a little while. So Hudson Badge. One thing we have not done yet tonight is an earlier badge. So we've got one of those next. And we are going to go back to Chevrolet on this one as well. Alec thought that one was pretty cool. Yep. PayPal, friends and family, William. You can do check, money order, Western Union, or PayPal, friends and family. But it's got to be friends and family. That's the only way I'll do it, because PayPal has changed a bunch of their rules over the last year and made them unuser friendly. So the PayPal address is in the text part of this video for t-shirts or auction prizes or raffle chances. So just make sure you put a note on the PayPal, William, as to what it's for, so I know, because I ship so many parts that I need to keep track of, you know, whose is what's and what's is whose. So, but appreciate that. Leonard late but made it. That's all right. Eloy and the dead flies for sale. Anyway, let's back up a few. Well, we're not going to back up too long. That was late 30s. We're probably going to back up to the early 30s, maybe into the 20s on this enamel Chevrolet badge. This is a little bit tough, but it's a great piece, great script, neat, cool piece on this little enamel Chevrolet. Once again, you know, radiator type badge from probably the 20s, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. And this, you know, it's a pretty flat. You can still see it has good flatness to it. It does have chipping definitely above and below, but all the Chevrolet letters look great. The blue looks great. The back is pretty clean. It had the little nub where it was pressed on to a radiator badge. Number one's in at 13. Norma's in at 20. Tony said he's actually got one like this. This is a smaller one. Pete says, "Is it the 3 or 4 inch?" That's what we're getting ready to find out, Pete. It is the 3 inch. 3 inch by about an inch. So it is a small one. William at 25. Randy's on with us. Alec came in at 10. I've got Bill Alderman at 25 is my high bidder. As we get ready to kick this one live on the timer, Zach is in at 40 on the Chevrolet badge. So Zach at 40 is my high bidder as we start the timer on the 2 minutes on this one. So we're ticking along. Zach at 40 is my high bidder on the early enamel Chevrolet badge. William says it's a cool show. Well, thanks. Appreciate that. The great part about this is it didn't wipe out the Chevrolet lettering. That's the best thing about this is it did not wipe out the letters. So number one says you have to add 26 cents to every dollar is what he has to pay extra. So if it costs us $4, it costs him $5, basically a little over $5. So that's a pretty dramatic difference. That adds up pretty quick. So I've got Zach at 40 on the Chevrolet badge. We're coming up on the 1 minute point. Like I said, please remember that delay and be thinking about what your maximum bid is going to be on this piece. As 1 minute has now passed, we're into the last minute on this one. I've got Zach at 40 is my high bidder. So ticking along here as we come up on the minute and 15-second left. Zach says, sitting here waiting for Norma to blow everybody out of the water on this one. And we're getting close to that minute, 30-second mark. So the snipers are out there starting to think about when to pull the trigger, I think. So A minute 30 has now passed. We have 30 seconds left on the little small enamel Chevrolet badge. I've got Zach at 40 is my high bidder. Norma says she's out. She's going to let him have it this time. So 20 seconds left. Coming down to the wire on this one, I've got Zach at 40 on the little Chevrolet badge. 10 seconds left. Looks like you may be okay, Zach. We'll find out here in a few more seconds. Zach at 40 on the little Chevrolet badge. And just about done, and that will do it. Zach at 40. And Pete came in at 45, but he was about 3 seconds too late. So Zach at 40 on the little Chevrolet badge. All right. Want to do a couple more? Or are we done? We can wrap it up. I mean, I got tons of stuff here. I got boxes full of stuff. We can squeeze a couple more in, or we can move forward. So whatever. Zach says, thanks, Norma. LOL. Old School says to wrap it up and move forward. So I don't have any more toys laid out. So everybody ready to do the magazine, or do we want to do one or two more auction pieces? That's up to you guys. I'll see if anybody wants to make a comment here in the next minute or so, or we'll move on to the magazine. Or I got two more things set out if we want to do two more things, whatever you want to do. Whatever you guys are up for, that's what we'll do. Everybody's saying, let's go to the magazine. So let's go to the magazine for this week, and we'll save some of this stuff for next week. Plus, we got to give away the raffle tonight. So, as always, I super appreciate everybody playing along with the auctions. We had a great time, and we always do, and the sportsmanship is awesome. Like I said, I've still got about 2.5 boxes of stuff just here right now. I just got started digging through that big tub of emblems from my buddy's place. I mean, I grabbed like 8 emblems out of there, and we didn't even sell them all tonight. And I filled a tote with them. Actually over a tote in ornaments and emblems and badges just on that one load, not counting the boxes upon boxes I've got upstairs. Same with oil cans. So a lot of cool stuff. We're having a lot of fun with it, and I appreciate all you guys playing along and having a good time and enjoying it with us. So tonight's magazine, we'll catch the magazine. Then we're going to do a little trivia. Then we're going to give away that Atlantic Imperial pump plate. Plus, we're going to announce the new raffle. William says, want some GMC emblems? Yeah, you got a couple of GMC emblems coming on your new truck, Bill, as soon as we get that wrapped up. But I'll do some looking around, see what else we've got. But anyway, tonight, the magazine will be Car Life from January of 1970. A lot of SCCA Trans Am stuff in this magazine. Obviously, by looking at the cover, we probably could have figured that out pretty quick. But a lot of neat stuff in here. So we'll go ahead and check this out. Action shot right on the cover of the Camaro. We'll start flipping through this magazine. We've got some cool articles and some cool ads. Although I was surprised not as many ads in this magazine as I thought there would have been. So that kind of surprised me. We'll start off with, here towards the beginning of the magazine, called the Car Life Forum. Let's see. Old School's got to bail off. Glad you made it tonight. Glad you were able to hang out for a while. Appreciate it. Let's see. Tweedledee was 6 years old, so Tony's already excited. Says it looks cool. In the Car Life Forum for the free interchange of information and comments of interest to car enthusiasts. There's just a few of these we're going to catch. They've got some different letters to the editor, so to speak, questions about the automobile world happening in January of 1970. One of these comments was extremely interesting. I thought we would kind of go over it. David W. says that's the year he was made. Trans Am Racer's the next trend in resto mods. Could very well be. Bill Alderman got a lot of miles in a 70s Camaro. But the first letter to the editor is entitled ZL1 Camaro. I've been told that a monster called a ZL1 Camaro exists and that about 59 have been sold across the U.S. Reportedly, it does the quarter in a little under $11.50 with a 3-barrel carburetor. Does it exist? If so, who made it? The factory or dealer, or who? And most important, is it really available to the public? Now, in today's world, pretty much all of us have heard about the aluminum block ZL1 427-69 Camaros. I think they ended up making 69 of them, if I'm correct. At this time, this reader thought they had made 50 of them. Alex said he was a month old at that point. But the response to the reader's question was there is a ZL1 Camaro. It is accepted as production, but it is not available to all of the public. GM forbids, or did until this year, more than 400 cubic inches in pony cars or intermediates, but Chevrolet has a department filling fleet orders, and that group will build anything a fleet buyer wants, from a 4-cylinder Caprice to a ZL1 Camaro, if the price is right. A group of high-performance Chevy dealers got together and ordered a fleet of ZL1 Camaros. As far as we know, your nearest dealer to this reader was an LA store, Guarantee Chevrolet in LA, and they are advertised as running in the 11s as delivered. So that was kind of an interesting tidbit, so to speak, in the reader's questions, letters to the editor or so. I think no one says, I'm a fleet buyer. Yep. And we all know what those were called, Copo Car Central Office production orders, because they had to be ordered in that sort of backdoor roundabout sort of way to get the right check marks in the right boxes to get that stuff built. Now, another article that I found very interesting, and this is a very technical article, so we're not going to get into it a lot, but to put it in perspective, that's kind of what made it interesting for me, was the comparing where we're at today with where things were at that point. This article is called The Mighty Mouse. Pace setter for a generation of performance engines, the small block Chevrolet V8 can easily be adapted with factory-built parts. So I kind of got to thinking about this thing. This is January of 1970. The small block Chevy had been out for 15 years from when the 265 came out available in the 1955 Chevrolet. So to put this into perspective, obviously in today's world, everybody LS swaps everything. The LS is 25 years old now. The LS came out in 97. So this, when you put it into perspective, would have been more recent than the LS swaps that we have today based on the time compared to when the 265 Chevrolet V8 became available and when this article was put together. Now, the purpose of this article was using factory-built parts, and that's what made it interesting to me. And like I said, this gets so technical, we could spend a ton of time in it. But what was cool about it is this flow chart, and the way they broke it down was the engine, the bore, the stroke. It gave you dimensions on mains, rods, things like that, and kind of gave you an idea as to what you could or could not do with a small block Chevy, from anything from a 265 up to a 350. What the bore and stroke were, what things you can modify, what you might be able to make work. It was kind of interesting the way that they looked at this thing compared to, they're again comparing it to today with LS swaps and what they were doing here with this article, trying to teach people what you could and couldn't do with a small block Chevy back then. No, I didn't hand away. I was giving away an LS for the 4th of July blowout. So, but that was there again. What was neat about it? Tony, is that magazine for sale? No, I really hadn't thought about selling it. These are just magazines out of my collection that we look at every week. But just there again, putting the two time periods side by side to compare them to see what they were doing with this article versus what we see today with LS swaps, just kind of interesting. The first road test we see in tonight's issue is on the Nova SS 350. The last of the option compacts has a sporting performance and a family car on the Chevrolet Nova SS 350. Not much on this page. We need to flip the page to get to. Pete says that was a cool chart. Kenny Slate Green with number 1 that I'm giving away an LS now. Some more pictures here. What was kind of interesting about this that really stood out to me was this was if we look real close, bucket seat, column shift, SS Nova. Number 1, you need to start scanning and posting some of the better articles for members. Yeah, I don't know when I'd have time to do that either. It just would be more stuff for me to do. Now, on the road test, and that we've looked at some of these magazines before where it gives us this nice chart of data and specs when they do these road tests. We catch a few of the high points in here. But this Nova was equipped with the 350. As we saw, it was an SS 350 rated at 300 horsepower, 380 pounds of torque. This car, equipped as tested, $3,807, including air conditioning, automatic transmission, custom interior trim, power steering, positive traction rear axle, and evaporative controls are required in California. This car ran a quarter mile in 16.5 at 85 miles an hour. So not exactly a rocket ship, but not terrible for the day. Got kind of a cool action shot of the Nova. And that's right, David W. It is kind of a weird combo. That, SS 350 with a posi and, and it had bucket seats with a manual column with a column shifted automatic. So it was kind of a little bit different of a configuration. And as we flip the page, we've got another road test. This one on a car that is iconic today, probably one of the hottest cars in the collector car market. The 1970 Chevelle SS 396. This best-selling supercar isn't the quickest, but it looks tough, and it's kind to women and children. Has some action shots in the road test with, of course, the little bicycle wheel that they always used to drag behind these things. I never have seen one of those setups to know exactly what the bicycle wheel was for, but every old road test you see, they use one, so it must have been pretty important at the time for whatever it was supposed to be measuring. More good shots, and this one actually has some pretty good shots on it. Obviously, it shows the 396 big block in here. It shows the console, the bucket seats. It also shows the cowl induction hood with the flapper open and closed. And in our specs on the 1970 Chevelle SS 396, equipped as tested, $4,926. That was a lot of money in 1970. Options included SS 396 option with the L34 350 horse engine, F41 handling package, special wheels and tires, ZL2 hood, power disc brakes, turbo hydromatic, turbo 400, AM FM air, power steering, and power windows. This car had power windows, kind of an odd option on one of these. Obviously, it was the 396 rated at 350 horse. Number one, column shift automatic bucket seats combo, super popular around here back in the day. So it must not be too odd in Canada. But the 70 SS 396 ran a quarter mile in 15.5 seconds at 90 miles an hour. Obviously, those cars did what they could as far as traction wise, and there wasn't a lot to work with in the stock cars, but pretty respectable. Obviously, in today's world, one of the hottest cars on the collector car market. So it's kind of cool to go back and take a step back in time and take a look at it when they were new. Now, the next article is going to be related to the cover. It's called Professionals at Work. This is the SCCA Trans Am stuff. This is about the Camaro. And the biggest part about this article is going to be looking at the pictures. Has some great pictures of the car, kind of some inside close-up shots that you never really saw. So I'm going to hold these up here for a second. Actually gives you an interior shot, gives you a brake and suspension shot of what these SCCA cars really were like back in going into the 1970 season. Here's a cool schematic line drawing breakdown of the car showing the cage and everything in it, which is a really neat deal. Because back then, they didn't just have a computer to print this out. Sebastian made it. Glad you're on with us today, Sebastian. Tony, what year in magazine? This was January of 1970. Car Life is what this one was. Some more shots of the Camaro coming up next, including the cross ram setup that they used on these cars back for Trans Am racing. Pete, YouTube has Trans Am racing, and a lot of fun to watch both old and new versions. And then, so there was some cool technical stuff on that Camaro in there. Now, the next article, also Trans Am related and kind of different. Penske and Donahue try AMC's front door. The result, factory javelins. So, as we all know now, AMC got involved at that point, trying to get competitive with Ford and Chevrolet in the Trans Am racing world. Kind of interesting. Zach was negative 13 in 1970. So Tony says he's got to find his own copy. And I don't think I've got a duplicate on this one. I could look and see, but I don't think I've got a duplicate on it. But I will look. But it was kind of interesting that when they got involved with AMC, they announced a 3-year contract, and they guaranteed that they were going to back it up with 7 wins that year. Did not actually happen, but they did pull out 3 wins in their first season. Starting from scratch, that was a pretty respectable showing in 1970. In 1971, they did win 7 races. However, due to expense and things like that, a lot of the other factory backing was pulling out in 71. So, but there again, it's still a cool shot of a Javelin in action. Back when AMC was trying to step up and play with the big boys, and tough to do, but they went ahead and they got up there and started playing the game, and did have some success towards the end of that series. So another interesting tidbit, and we'll just catch a little bit of this because a few things in here that are very interesting. This section, now, if you remember when we do Motor Trends, we have the Detroit Report, which is tidbits from the manufacturers. Car Life had a section called Motor City, where they had several different tidbits from the manufacturer. Now, the one that stood out to me the most, rear engine Corvette, still at least a year away. Well, as we know now, it was 50 years away. But there again, that's what they're looking at. The 1970 Corvette won't be easy to identify. It's cleaned up here and there, but it looks just like a 69. And there isn't much change planned for 71 at this point. One of the suppliers of Corvette components says Chevrolet has placed its orders, and there's nowhere near as much change in store as there would be if the engine were going behind the driver. Why the delay? General Motors, or the men at the corporation's head, is becoming less inclined to indulge its engineers and stylists. The push now is to make one part or one component fit as many cars as possible, which we obviously know has been happening for a long time. For a rear-engine Corvette, you must have a transaxle. There was no other car in the General Motors line that could use a transaxle, and there are no plans for such a car. The Chevrolet engineers are having a fight trying to convince the men who signed the checks that the money for tooling and design is justified for something so impractical as a sports car, which doesn't even sell in 6 figures. Victory would now mean a rear-engine Corvette in 72 or later. So, like I said, we now know later was almost 50 years, but it's here. So, anyway, lots of cool stuff we could get into in those articles, but just a tidbit here and there to try to catch, because, like I said, we could spend hours in these magazines and we'd never get to the raffle tonight. So we definitely want to do that as well. One more thing we want to catch. Oh, actually, this is the end of the Car Life reports. There was a few more things I wanted to catch a few pages down the road where they had to wrap this deal up. The Gremlin, the soon to be in from AMC, is already in the tooling up stage with a release date stated for July of 1970. Assembly rates will be at least 4,000 units per month at first. So that's cool. And I believe actually it was a little bit later, or a little bit earlier. I think they did it on April 1st, if I remember correctly. I think April 1st on April Fool's Day of 1970 is when they actually released the Gremlin. In January, they were expecting a July release date. So another little AMC tidbit, American Motors' new Rebel machine is powered by a reworked 340-horse V8 and boasts a full complement of high-performance equipment. Suggested advertised delivery price is now a low at $3,475. The machines target a fair share of the expanding performance car market, according to R.W. McNeely, Vice President of Marketing. In addition to the 390 engine, the Rebel machine features a functional hood scoop, hood-mounted tach, power disc brakes, special suspension, 4-speed Hurst floor shifter. As with last year's successful Scrambler, the machine will be painted red, white, and blue. So that one actually has a cool shot of the Rebel machine. I did a video on one of these at up at Dave's place in Murdo, South Dakota. So at the Pioneer Auto Show. So you might want to go and check that video out if you want to see a little one of these up close. They actually had a Scrambler and a machine sitting right next to each other, which was pretty cool. Something you never see, seeing a Scrambler and a machine literally parked right next to it. Bill Wagman, have fun in Tulsa. See you next Sunday. Glad you made it tonight. David W., that it became industry-wide philosophy a couple years later with the oil-wide embargo. Right, trying to make one part fit as many cars as possible. Number one, heard the Gremlin failed because they fitted off the midnight and got it wet. Was that the only paint scheme available that year? I believe so on the machine. We all know the Scrambler had 2 paint schemes, but the machine, I think, was just this one. I just heard some thunder outside, so Shayla just sent me a screenshot of the map, and it looks like most of it's going around it, so I'm hoping that's what's still happening. So anyway, purchase by American Motors of the Kaiser Jeep Corporation has been agreed to by both firms for $80 million. Expanding into the off-road market is not without compromise, though. Terms of the agreement would give Kaiser Industry Corporation 22% ownership of American Motors, making them the company's largest single stockholder with 5.5 million shares. The pooling of interests would turn American Motors into a $1.2 billion company, one of the top 75 firms sales-wise in America. So kind of an interesting thing. Tidbit on there, as the Kaiser Jeep Corporation was bought out by AMC, or being bought out by AMC at that point in 1970. Tony, Murdo's only 70 miles from me. Well, I hope you've been over to see Dave and check out that collection. I'm sure you've been there. If you haven't, please go check it out. Great people. We've been there a couple times. Great family, and had a great time there. Rusty Nelson, there's a guy who lives by him that has 2 of them. So, but anyway, let's get to some ads and let's get to some classifieds and kind of keep boogieing along here. We ain't done any of that here in a little while. So, Bill Alderman saw on History Channel, Kaiser Industries built Liberty ships during World War II. Yes, they did, and that's where Kaiser got involved in, and that's why Kaiser got involved in building cars after that. So, but for ads in this issue, and like I said, I have skipped some stuff trying to kind of keep moving so we can get to the raffle tonight, because I know some of you guys definitely want to get to that too. Inside the front cover, the Cyclone GT, password for action in the 70s, the streeter that looks like a racing car. Tilted it sideways so you can see it from the side there. SC Rambler, and the machine, was there a Gremlin or a Hornet muscle version, or just not a Levi's edition? The Gremlin X, you can get a 304 and a Gremlin X. I do know that. I don't know about Hornets. Like I said, kind of surprised that the ads were a little bit thin tonight, but we've still got a handful of them we're going to see. And we've also got classifieds to do in this issue as well, so we're going to check that out too. STP, antifreeze for oil. Obviously, the STP rack last week was a hit, so pretty excited about that. There's something going on outside. Hopefully, we're just on the tail end of it. It looks like on the map. So, and let's jump to the back and catch a couple of more things here. Inside the back cover, a sport machine to light your fire. This is one of my favorite ads of all time. What are you doing, Gray Kitty? She's over here jumping around. I don't know if she hears that rain outside or what. On the 1970 Buick GS 455 convertible. Now, the reason I love this ad is this is identical to my dad's car. Identical. Red, black interior, 70 GS 455 convertible. So, he's had one of these ads hanging on the wall in his office in Glacier for years. He built that car back in the 80s, still has it. So, great car, and this ad literally matches it to a T. And the back cover, once again, American Motors, we made the AMC look tougher this year because it is tougher this year. The 1970 AMX comes with a new 360 engine as standard equipment, developed 290 horsepower, 65 more than last year. And this year we've added to our list of standard options, standard items, mag-style wheels, a new air scoop system in the front bumper to aid in brake cooling, and the cornering safety windshield is available. It's an American Motors exclusive. So there it is, the 1970 AMX. Alex digging it. Gray Kitty, what are you doing over there, dum-dum? I don't know, whatever. I don't know if she hears that rain or what. Something's kind of bothering her. So, but anyway, like I said, some great articles in this issue of Car Life, but a little thin on ads. I was kind of surprised. We were a little thin on good quality ads. There was a few other things in there, but nothing that was really cool. But we've got some great classifieds. It's great when these magazines had classifieds. The Auto Mart section of the magazine right here, we'll look at a few of these as well. Because these are always comical to go back and take a look at. Okay, 1958 Cadillac Brougham. $14,000 due in 1958. Now, this is the four-door hardtop with the stainless steel roof covering. White leather interior, suspension and brakes need work, body good and good body and mechanical condition other than the brakes and suspension, asking $2,000 for a 58 Brougham. Number one, few ads mean more commercial created content. Tony's really digging this magazine. What else was in here? 1954 Corvette, 6-cylinder, 3-speed, new top, $1,000. Oh yeah, here's the one that I was thinking of. I knew there was a real interesting one. 1969 Boss 9 Mustang. White, mint condition, 5,000 miles, 600 built. Now, you guys weren't going to be able to Jew him down or weasel him down on this thing because he was firm on his price at $4,500 on a 69 Boss 9 Mustang with 5,000 miles on it. But he wasn't budging a nickel. He was firm at $4,500. So you're going to have to cough up the $4,500 to get that Boss 9. So, 63 Studebaker Golden Hawk Gran Turismo, ivory with red and ivory interior, radio and air, new paint, best offer over $1,595. So, anyway, that was some of the stuff that was going on in the classified ads. I don't know if you guys can hear that rain or not. But if you're starting to hear a bunch of noise, that's the rain banging around outside. So hopefully it's not getting too bad out there. But there it is, the January 1970 issue of Car Life. And like I said, a cool magazine, good issue, some good meat in that one. Just a little thin on the ads, but some cool articles. So glad you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, we could spend all night going through these things. So I do kind of try to hit the high points, the stuff that stands out that would be of interest to the general public. David W., I have a 64 Gran Turismo. That's cool. Between this, yeah, some of that stuff's 5 figures. Some of that stuff is 6 figures now. That Boss 9 is well into 6 figures for sure. Bill Alden, wait, $4,500. Yeah. You could probably pick that car for $250 today. It probably wouldn't take $450, but if it was all over the 5,000 miles, it might take $450. So, is that excess noise bothering anybody? Can you hear that rain, or are we all good on that? Hudson Badge. Kenny says it's a great magazine. Appreciate that. Always try to mix it up with something a little bit different every week on the magazines. And we're going to play some trivia, and then we're going to do some drawings. So, everyone wants to sound like somebody's peeing on your tent door. Yep. Pete Winter says he can't hear it. Lee says he's good. David Evan can hear it, but not bad. So, Brian says, hope the cats aren't getting wet. I think I had them all corralled and inside, I think. Pete says, great mag. Rusty else is putting him to sleep. Okay. At least it doesn't sound like you guys can hear it, but it's not really an issue. So that's great. So we can keep moving. Toss another one of those up there. And we're going to play some trivia. Williams is very soothing. Scott says, send it to Texas. We've actually had quite a bit of rain here lately, so I don't think that'd be actually too big of a problem right now. But tonight, we're going to give away a Quaker State can. The top's cut out of this one, and it's got some scuffing and scratching on it, but it is a metal Quaker State Deluxe can for the trivia tonight. Top's been cut out. Somebody had some paint in it or something. But fortunately, it didn't destroy the can. You can still see all the graphics, all the lettering, all the words and everything on it. So the Quaker State Deluxe for tonight's trivia winner. And as always, I'm going to give you 90 seconds on this just to keep it under control so we're not sitting here waiting for 5 minutes as people go back through old videos. Once I ask the question, we'll set the timer. We've got 90 seconds. So, in the Torino Squire, what were the other parts for? Year and make of car on the extra parts in the Torino Squire. Watching both formats for a winner on this one. Year and manufacturer. Number one, 37 Olds. That is correct. It is number one, a 37 Olds. So everybody was right in the same vicinity, but number one got it with a 37 Olds. I'm going to put your name on that one, number one, and we'll probably wait a few weeks and see if you get something else to ship with it. I know you'd said something about that in the past, so we will probably do that. I'll hold that for a few weeks and see if you get something else before we ship it, if that's cool with you. Yep, David W. had the year, forgot the make. So, number one, we'll probably do that if that's all right with you, unless you really need this thing right away. We'll wait till you get another one and ship you a couple at a time. And with that, that brings us to raffle time. That's a metal can, number one. It is metal. So, metal can. Hold on just a second. We're back with raffle time. All right, who's in the big Buick oil can right now for the Atlantic Imperial Pump Plate? I will read through the names that I have in here. If I do not read your name and you thought you were in this month, please get with me so we can get you into the next month's raffle if your payment got mixed up. So, here's what I have in as of right now. And so some of you guys are in multiple times, and I probably won't read your name every time. I'll try to catch it. But I've got Norma in. Kenny is in. Kenny's in. Tweedly D is in. Alec. My dad is in. David Woodcox is in. Zach Thompson. Dennis Chapman. Alec. Lee Carr. Big Job, Ron Walensky. John Bennett. Alec. Zach. And Bill Alderman. And now a lot of these guys, their names are in there so many times because every time they buy something, they add a few bucks in for the raffle. So they end up with several sheets in here because they're buying in every week. They buy stuff on the auction, then they add a few extra bucks and say throw that in the auctions or throw that in the raffle. So that's how a lot of those guys are in there multiple times, because they're paying in multiple times. So if you thought you paid me and you didn't, and I didn't read your name, please get a hold of me and we'll get you in on next month's raffle, which is going to be epic, by the way. This is pretty good stuff. And this next one I think it's just as good, if not better. So those names are in right now. They're in there. They're cut out. There are little slips in there. Tons of little slips of paper in there. Everyone that you bought in is in there. So, first name is going to be for the Imperial. Second name, unless you want something different, is going to be the Mobile 1 gallon. And third is going to be a red Kindle. So if I pull your name second for this and you want the Kindle, just let me know or whatever. And but that's why I'm going to pull names: Imperial pump plate, Mobile with the Pegasus, Kindle red. So no, we're not going to raffle the panel off, big job. So here we go. Let me grab my auction pad. Jason says he'll take the Pinto. All right. For the Atlantic Imperial pump plate, I've got one. I've got one name here. I think I only got one, and it is Kenny. Kenny Peterson. On the pump plate. Big Job says just charge more for the tickets. Rusty Nail says $100 tickets for the Pinto make good money. So Kenny Peterson is on the Atlantic pump plate winner. Now, for the 1 gallon Mobile with Pegasus, Mobile upper lube. Shake them up again. Go in here, dig around, come out with one name, see what we got. Now remember, if we pull Kenny's name, he is out. So I think I got one. Do I have one name? Yes, I've got one name. Bill Alderman on the 1 gallon Mobile. Number one wants to LS swap the red pin. So one more for the red Kindle quart. So Kenny and Bill are out. If we pull their names, this has got to be a different name for the red Kindle quart. We got one. Let's see who it is. Norma on the red Kindle quart. So there we go. There's this month's raffle. Thanks to everybody for playing. I super appreciate it. We have a lot of fun with that. So now, what's next? What's up for June? June is going to be cool. Tweedledee's already ready. Let's get it up there. Now, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that it was going to be a car part, but it was going to be an epic car part. It was going to be a car part you can hang anywhere and everybody's going to know what it is. You can hang it in a bathroom and everybody's going to know what it is. You can hang it in a muscle car collection and everybody's going to know what it is. So it's a great piece. It is an awesome piece. Hudson Badge. And I'm going to give number one credit on this, because when I first announced it, and this is also what makes me confirmed my thoughts about how epic this thing was when I first mentioned it 2 weeks ago. Number one nailed it immediately. It's so iconic that it was the first thing that number one thought of. 2 weeks ago when I first mentioned it, he was 100% correct. It is an actual bullet nose off of a 1950 Studebaker. Alec guessed Thunderbird grill. No, that's a good guess. Somebody's going to get their own bullet nose. You didn't win it. You just got it right. You guessed right. So, yeah, somebody's going to have their own bullet nose for a Studebaker. Like I said, yeah, it's a little bit heavy, that's for sure, but it's all pop metal. Mike says iconic is right. Big Job loves it. Pete's in. David says incredible. These are great. You can hang them literally anywhere, and everybody knows what that thing is. Now, this one's not perfect. It's got to be worth some ephemera. Yeah. That wasn't a trivia question. I was just giving hints out. You actually jumped the gun on me. Bud's excited. Tweedly D's excited. Lee thinks it's cool. Well, here's the deal. It's not perfect. It's got a couple of flaws. Bill's in. Kenny digs it. If you guys can see it right here, and I want to, full disclosure, it's going to be hard. This thing's shining so bad it's hard to see. The little crack right here, and there's a little crack right here, and I get that is a tiny crack right there. So there's a couple of little flaws right there. And there was another flaw in it. There's a little dent right down here in the bottom of it. I don't know if you can see there. You can kind of see the light reflecting on the little dent there. Pete, best raffle item since I joined the group. So, number one, I saw the twinkle in your eye when you got so excited about an answer. I maybe saw the reflection in your eye. Jason says he has to have it. Alex says it's sweet. Yeah, these are iconic. Big Job says that's worth $10 raffle tickets. So, like I said, you can put that just about anywhere, and everybody's going to know what it is. So, it's a great piece. We'll get her hung up here so we can all check it out over the next month. We'll probably give it away for first weekend in July, because the 30th is on a Thursday this month. So we'll probably do this like on July 3rd, something like that. Bill Wagaman, you could use that as a vent in your bathroom. Zach says it's awesome. Yeah, it is. It's, like I said, it's iconic. You can put it about anywhere, and everybody's going to say, that's cool. You've got an actual bullet nose. So, Big Job says, let's raffle it tonight. But there it is. It's a cool piece. I've actually come up with a couple of these here lately. So, Brian says, might have to reinforce the shelf to hang it. Yeah. Number one says, how many raffle tickets is Quaker State can worth? Bill says that those marks mean it was actually on a car. Yeah, this is the real deal. It's just not 100-point perfect. I mean, if you had a driver car, this is good enough. I mean, but it's not perfect. So that's why I wanted to point out these little cracks and flaws in it. But there again, when it's hanging on a wall, you're not going to see that stuff anyway. That's the plan. This is the raffle piece for July. That's what I had planned, was this is the raffle. So, obviously, I think you guys are excited about it. But But yep, that's what it's for, is for the July raffle. So I don't know, that's what I plan. I know you're kind of shocked that we're giving it away in a raffle, but yep, that's what it is. So I told you guys it was going to be cool. I hope that it lived up to the hype, I guess, so to speak. They can fix your dad's ankle with that. Yeah. Big job. It's a perfect display piece. Mike is already in. Mike said he's already sent PayPal for the raffle. I think that's a record, Mike. I think that's the quickest anybody's ever gotten in on a raffle. But there she is. It's got a few pits in it as well. You know, it's not perfect. You can see some of the little flaws in the pitting. The letters are white. I did repaint the letters. The white was faded out of them, so I repainted that. You know, there is a little bit of pitting down inside of here if you look, but, you know, hanging on the wall. I mean, like I said, if you had a driver, you could put this thing on it and roll with it. But they're great. So Jason says it look great next to his Edsel grill. Yep, that would be a perfect piece for a spot like that as well. But there she is. There's the July raffle. An authentic, actual, original bullet nose off of a 1950 Studebaker. So, but how much is the raffle chance? They're $1 a piece. For every $1 you send me, your name goes in the can one time. $5, 5 times, $10, 10 times, $20, 20 times. Whatever you put in, $1 a piece. You can use PayPal, friends, and family. That information is in the text part of this video. Or check, money order. You know, a lot of people still do that. Send me a check in the mail. Or, you know, a lot of people send a check for their auction items. They tack a few bucks on there, whatever you wanted to do. So, Big Job says, backlight that on a wall. Mike, if you got a car to go with it, I've got 150 Starlight Coupe. Actually, it's my daughter's, but we do have a 50 Starlight Coupe. And that's why I can give this thing away. I don't have a problem with this. I've got 4 of them. So, you know, that's why this one's a raffle piece. I've got the one on the car, and I've got a couple of extras that for me to hang up. But yeah, we do have 150 Starlight Coupe out at the yard stashed. So anyway, super cool piece. Glad you guys are excited about it. We're going to hang it up, and we're going to get ready to give this thing away here in about a month. I don't understand the exchange rate stuff, number one. So that I don't know what to tell you on that, because I don't know how the exchange rate stuff works. But you guys do look a little thirsty. But anyway, a few more things to get caught up on here before we wrap up. But as always, I super appreciate everybody that got into the raffle this month. We're having a lot of fun with it. I hope you guys are digging it and having a good time. Norma, you'll be getting 2 checks from me this week, so I already made one out for the other stuff. So I'll get 2 this week. Number 1, I want to graph 2 of them onto a 60s Ford or Chevy van and make taillights. Well, that would be pretty interesting. But like I said, you guys are what makes this thing tick. Participating in the raffles, you know, that helps me financially for the time I put into this. I try to do a good job for you. That's why I build these sheets every week. That's why I spend time with magazines. I try to do a good job for you guys, and I hope you're happy with what we're doing and the direction it's been going. And I do know things have been getting a little long. We've got it reeled back in tonight. I did skip some more stuff out of the magazine to try to keep the time a little bit more manageable for some of you, and try to find a good, happy balance for everyone. I do really appreciate you guys spending pretty much your whole Sunday evening with me. So Norma says, I do an awesome job. Love it. Thanks. I appreciate it. It means a lot when you hear your support. Eloy's all ready to get in. It's a cool piece. It's great. That's for sure. There's a Hudson badge. Tony says, I do an awesome job. Thanks. And like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, whatever I do would be completely meaningless, because it's all of your guys' participation. It's you guys jumping in and getting your names in here. It's you guys jumping in on this auction stuff. And all this is what makes it fun. Kenny says it do, and I appreciate the support. But guys, without all of you here, it's irrelevant. But it's fun, and I'm the main man, I guess. And a lot of this stuff, you know, I've got a fairly extensive collection, and some of the stuff it's great being able to add to some of your collections as well. So Lee loves it. Tweedledee D, I have nowhere else to go except nobody. Bill says he'll pick up the can in a few weeks when he comes up to get his truck. Perfect. And that's right. It is episode number 115, which is crazy as well. And that you guys keep coming back to make 115 episodes. So, but anyway, what did I pick up this week? What's coming up for next week? The only thing I picked up this week, I have not done a David W's in. I have not done a video on it, but I did pick up the 39 Ford Deluxe sedan. We got a glimpse of it in the video where I bought all those cars in one load. But I did get the 39 sedan picked up. I got to get a video done on that, but I have not gotten it done yet. Invite Margaret from our World War II collection to Tuesday. She'll be Tuesday's social drinker bartender. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, Alec, as others have said, we're all part of the Nobody's family. Yeah, and actually, that's another thing I was getting to talking about next week. This Toy Tuesday, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to plan on skipping it. We're going to try to head to Tulsa at some point on Tuesday, but I don't know exactly what Tuesday is going to entail. So at this point, I'm just going to tell you we'll probably plan on skipping Toy Tuesday. Zach, congrats on all the raffle winners. I guess I need to step up his game for next month. Yeah, Alex says me too on Facebook. So, but like I said, it's fun, and all your guys' participation is what makes it great. So, as of right now, Toy Tuesday, I'm probably just going to plan on not doing it. That's right, Tweedledee. With gas prices high, it's tough to have fun, but that's why we can all hang out here and have a great time. If I get a minute, maybe we'll do a live from Meekum. That's always a possibility. If you guys are interested in that, at some point, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, depending on when I'm there and when I've got time, I could do a live from Meekum if you guys are interested and show off a few things that are going to be there. And so maybe we can do that live instead, since I imagine I'm going to be on the road Tuesday. We'll see how things go. So at this point, let's plan on no Toy Tuesday, but possibly doing a live from Meekum if that's cool with you guys. It would probably just be a YouTube deal on that for the Facebook watchers. So stay tuned on that. We'll see how that shakes out. So we'll probably just plan on not doing Toy Tuesday till after I get back the following Tuesday. Bill Alderman says definitely do live from Meekum. Okay. Big Job says Meekum would be cool. So Pete is going to be at Meekum on Friday. So absolutely, definitely give me a shout, Pete, and we'll try to catch up. Maybe you can help me do the live. We've done that before too. So, number one, maybe Chad will find a first-gen Prius to give away for the long-haul commuters. I've actually got a first-gen Prius. It's junk. I don't know. I said it didn't run right anymore, so they sold it for scraps. So there is a Prius out there. It won't be there for long, but there is one there. Tweety says it would be cool. Bud says it'd be cool. Number one's to give me $8 for the Prius. One reason I bought is I heard the cats were worth a lot of money on them. So Hudson Badge. Or there wouldn't be a Prius there. I've heard the catalytic converters were worth good money. So I got that, chopped the cat. We'll see if the cat's worth anything. I got it in my big tote of converters. David W says blow it up. That's a great plan. I'll see if I don't know if I got anything big enough to blow it up for. We have blown some cars up before. I've got some videos on some of that. I probably ought to post some of those. They're old. They're from 6 or 8 years ago. I've got some pretty epic videos of blowing up a couple of cars on 4th of July. Kenny, winning the raffle made his week, facing some oral surgery tomorrow, so winning definitely balances it out. Glad to be a nobody. Well, great, Kenny. Glad that's exciting. Glad that works out for him. Glad that puts you in a little better mood for oral surgery, because I don't know what kind of oral surgery it is, but it sounds awful. So I'm sure you're not going to be comfortable for the next couple of days. So knowing that this thing's going to be headed your way, well, maybe that'll help. So Rusted Hills wants the battery. Big Job says the Prius could be the booby prize. Tweedledee says his neighbor got his cat stolen. Yeah, and that's getting bad, that's for sure. Zach says blow it up, just take the batteries out first. Hudson Badge. So anyway, we'll skip Toy Tuesday. What videos we got coming up this week? I've got another video from my buddy's place, loading up more parts out of there. So we throw that one up. I've got a video on, did a video on the 66 Mustang Coupe. Got a video on the 76 GMC Sprint that came in. So we've got some of that stuff to throw up. Like the first gen Prius, it looks like a vintage fridge. Yeah, I guess it kind of does if you look at it right. Mike's got to jump off. But so we'll get some of those videos up. Plus, we'll definitely do some stuff at Doug's, at Doug Price, the Auburn Court Duesenberg factory. If you guys didn't catch any of the stuff we did there last year at the Auburn Court Duesenberg factory, please go back and check it out. They do some absolutely amazing stuff there. How many of you guys understand how a front-wheel drive, a four-speed front-wheel drive manual cord transmission shifts? We did a video on it. We'll show you how it shifts. Because that 36, 37, 810, and 812 cord was front-wheel drive, but the transmission was in front of the engine, out in front of the rear, in front of the front wheels. You couldn't exactly put a stick coming up through the floor to make that thing work. We got a video showing you how it worked, and we did that at Doug's place. Auburn Court Duesenberg factory, absolutely amazing place. There's always cool Auburns and cords around there. Can't wait to see Doug. We'll do some video there. We may even do a live from there. We'll see how things are going and see what happens and what's going on there. So we'll bring you some content. We may just do a live from Meekum like on Friday maybe. Maybe if Pete's there, maybe we can do a live on Friday. And we may do that instead of posting a video Friday night. Maybe we'll just do some live from Meekum on Friday and check that out. So, Tyler, just as I opened the stream, you were holding something mobile, and then it was gone. What did you miss, Tyler? Well, it was probably this mobile can here, and we just gave it away in the month's raffle. We do a raffle every month, Tyler. You can get in on it for this month. I'm shipping this Atlantic pump plate to our first prize winner. The second prize winner is getting this mobile can, if that's the one you saw. And our third prize winner is getting this red Kindle can. So if you jumped on then you should have seen this month's raffle of the Studebaker Bullet Nose. So pretty cool piece. Big job. Do a Prius drop from the loader bucket. That has potential. Tony, check and see if I got an extra issue of that magazine. Okay, sounds good. How about some Hudson Badge? Okay, Tyler says that was it. Thanks. Perfect. So anyway, we'll get some content up. Like I said, I'll get something posted tomorrow night. We'll see what we do when I can get to Doug's at the Auburn Court Duesenberg factory. See what kind of cool stuff they've got going on there, as well as see what happens at Meekum this week. Can't wait to see some of you there. Hopefully catch up with Pete. I'm going to cover it for Old Cars Weekly, so I'll get them some information so that we can get an article put together for Old Cars Weekly on it. And I'm going to have a busy week. I know that, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited that maybe some of you guys are going to be at Meekum this weekend. That's going to be cool. Can't wait to possibly meet some of you in person. It's going to be great. And as always, there's always a ton of cool cars there, and it's always a lot of fun. So that's what I've got for tonight. Got to be a fun raffle month with this thing. Super excited about that. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you swinging by, hanging out, spending basically your entire Sunday evening with me, with this group, and what it's turned into. Zach, do you have shirts in stock? I don't have any XXX, and I don't have any medium. Because I've got some of you still waiting on shirts. Other need XXXs and mediums. Those are on order. Fortunately, I've got about the best guy in the country that does hot rod shirts, that does my shirts. Unfortunately, I've got about the best guy in the country that does hot rod shirts doing my shirts. And it's car show season. So they're coming. I'll get them at some point. So that's kind of the frustrating part about it, but they're ordered. So large, extra large, and I think I've still got some double X. I think I'm just out of triple, and I think I'm out of medium. So large, extra large, and double X I've got. In black and gray. They're both still in stock, I think, in both colors. So, yeah, just throw that on in with your payment, Zach. If you want something like that, I can get one of those shipped to you, too. Kenny says, Meekum video sounds good. Norma says, had a great time. Pete, great show. Have a great week. Big Job says, congratulations to all the winners. And David W. says, they're nice shirts. So, appreciate that. Appreciate everybody being here and all of you making this what it is. Pete says, good night, fellow nobodies. Bill says, fun times. Have a good week, Kiss Kenny. And Big Job says, hit the like button. Alex says, great show. Appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys being here. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making this what it has become. Please invite your friends by. Had a few trolls tonight, but you guys took care of them. I appreciate that. And we had a good time. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to sign off, get a few more things done yet tonight. I know some of you want to get to bed. You got work tomorrow, things like that. I got to get a lot of things done here over the first part of the week so I can get away later in the week to get down to Meekum and to see Doug at the Auburn Court Duesenberg factory. Thanks for being here tonight, everybody. Had a great time with all of you. Thanks for playing in the auctions. Thanks for playing in the raffle. Congratulations to our winners. And we will see you not Tuesday, but next Sunday night on live chat, unless I maybe run into some of you at Meekum and see you in person, which would be okay as well. Scott enjoyed tonight. Don's giving us a big thumbs up. Appreciate that. And we will see you next Sunday night. Same bat time, same bat station, 7 o'clock Central Time. Sunday night live chat. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about since I'm going to be doing some cool stuff this week. And it's going to be a great episode. Bill says, great show, great time. Thanks, everybody. Big Job says, thanks. Zach, money for shirt, civvy badge, and raffle cent. Perfect. Thanks, Zach. And I'm going to jump off and get something done. Thanks for watching, everybody. Invite your friends next week. Let's have some fun. And we will see you next Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with me. We're going to have some more fun next week.